Okay, so what we're going to do is um, when we get this going, we're going to do some hoof evaluations. Then um, I'm going to sign out of YouTube and sign in again. And just a second here. And then we're going to start a series on hoof history because Sharon Shields Reynolds is going to record that and she's going to start writing it out. So we're going to go through in these hoof chats, we're going to go through pretty much everything, starting with hoof history and then on to um, anatomy and corrective trimming and stuff like that. And the goal is to get it recorded so that we can put it down in a book, you know, um, things like that. So, since I obviously have this deal where I can't finish anything, like nothing, all right? I don't know if I've ever finished anything ever. Well, I've finished cleaning a few houses. I've finished jobs that I worked at, but like I just seem to have this continual thing of, oh well, there's more to learn, more to learn, more to learn, more to learn, more to learn. And so I have a really hard time sitting down and writing a book or putting anything together because I get so led away into I get distracted into seeing something in it and wanting to know more. Anyway, I just have some sort of quirk about me, I guess. So Sharon is gonna help organize and get this in a book. Um, what was that? All right. So um I'm hearing myself. I better mute that person. There we go. I gotta mute.
Linda, did you mute yourself too?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I muted myself. I maybe I anyway. I should mute myself more often to tell you the truth. All right. So let's see. All right. So let me go to Facebook and get into our group, and computer wants to work slow, of course. And go to the research and trimming group. Okay, let's see, let me get on Zoom and share screen. Let's see. All right. The content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. Okay, I got it. Yeah, and that would be YouTube. All right, so I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find Marilyn.
It's easiest if you just type my name into the search bar and then you
Okay, I
find it
believe
right
that.
off the bat.
Okay, I will do that. Right there. Came up instant. Now, are you guys seeing
Yes.
the screen? Okay, great. Great, great, great. All right. And man. All right. So this is from October 7th. Today is the 10th, so this was just
No,
3 days
today's
ago.
the 15th.
So
Yeah, I think so.
it is. Oh, I was looking at the month. Oh my God. I forget my name if one glued on. Okay. All right. So see, I think, Marilyn, that you're just gonna have to start taking these toes back more.
That's what I realized after I
Uh,
saw the pictures.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, and getting down to the apex of your frog more too, because I know that's not the apex.
It went
I'm
right
pretty
down to the
sure.
curved line at the sole, way
Okay.
down in there. It did, yeah.
You did? Because to me, it looks like it could be back just a little bit more. But and now not that you have to take a toe. Okay, here's the thing. These frogs, when all this anatomy gets pulled down behind, well, that frog was there, right? Where'd it go? That frog gets pushed way forward under the foot. All the anatomy of that frog gets distorted and moved down, under, and forward. And so I've had a cold all week. And so if I have to mute myself and have a coughing fit, that's what's going on here. Just a second. Okay, I'm back. Um, that frog, see, I'm learning more and more about that frog all the time, about how we just do not even realize how distorted and deformed these frogs get under the foot, and then they get bent as well. Well, then they grow the frog padding in that shape, and so that frog combined the whole back of the foot and hold up all of your progress. Just a second. Okay, had to say hi to my husband there. He came brought me the truck. So those frogs, then they grow the frog padding. And then you got to realize you got that central sulcus that grows the frog stay. So that gets really, really deep in the foot. And that will just glue the whole back of the foot down and under. So that's why it's so important. Like one thing I learned, what like, oh man, this phone is ringing. I hate that. I'm gonna go take this phone off the hook in a minute. You know, your home phone. Might as well get rid of that thing anyway. Anyway, um, so what happens too if you don't get that central sulcus trimmed out very good, well, that's very, very deep up in there where that frog grew, and that's going to just hold the center of your foot right there. So you could like be releasing the heels, but if you're not getting that frog so that it is renewing and growing on a continual basis, then that frog padding is going to hold you right there. Because you got to remember, this capsule, this, just a minute. I, just a second. I got to take a drink of water. I may have to go get a cough drop. Hold on. Okay. Um, so there's definitely a lot more we have to learn about these frogs. But I'm going to show you what the real frog looks like live. All right. I've seen very few. The first one I saw, and I wish I could find that video. I don't know. Maybe the guy doesn't have his channel anymore, because it was when I first got on YouTube. Just a minute. Well, this is going to be a fun one. Okay. So it was the first time I got on YouTube. And this guy, he was a farrier, and he was trimming a horse for this lady. It was an adopted wild Mustang, an adopted wild Mustang. and the back of the foot. I was just like, what in the heck is that? That's what I was seeing. So, oh my goodness. So I'm going to show you some pictures of what the real foot of the horse looks like that you hardly ever see. And I will also explain to you why uh why the founder of thought when he saw this particular kind of, okay. um so I'm going to go right, because without showing you this, you're not in it, and start seeing the distortions in your horse's foot and what that foot was truly, truly, truly meant to be. You have to remember where the pictures are.
I had a hard because the Sulcus Frog Stay area was just weird. There's a lot of there. Yeah, I
Aha, yeah.
did a little on it, but I just
Hmm.
wasn't sure how much I should take off. I just didn't know.
Yeah, well, it just may be a
Oh,
false
I'm sure it
frog.
is.
A faux
I'm
frog,
sure it is.
you know, like what
I
I had.
just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that's the way I felt. I felt the same way when I ran into the same type of thing, you know? Okay. Well, I'm going to show you this one first. Well, no, I want to show you this other one first. Just a second here. Okay, where is it? Okay, to see, maybe. Okay, do you see this picture? Did it come
No.
up? No? Yeah. Just a sec. New share.
Yep.
How's that? Okay, the first one is this one here. See this guy here? He's rolling. And Salt River wild horses. Okay, I want you to look at the back of that foot. See? Very unusual looking. See how full it is back there? Okay. Now, if you were to look at that, if you couldn't get a good look and you didn't know what you were looking at, you would look at that and you see how the frog is right there and the heel's right there. Does everybody see that? I need some like
Yeah,
feedback.
I can see it.
Okay. So you would think that's a short heel,
Yeah,
right?
you could.
Right? Am I wrong? Say, you've never been around livestock before, and you go to see horses' feet with BLM when they're roping horses. Anybody ever seen a
Yes.
horse roped?
No.
It ain't it. It ain't. I mean, you go to rodeo, you watch them rope a steer. Some people that'd be kind of violent to them. But let me tell you what, when horses roped, especially a horse that is roped and laid down by two ropers, it's a violent, crazy act. All right. And so this is what they do to those horses. Well, they don't anymore. They have chutes now. They run them in, they're hydraulic, it flips them over, and they can do all their stuff. But originally, when they first started catching these horses and then adopting them out, they got 2, 3 wranglers in a corral. They run one horse into that corral, then they rope the head, and then one ropes the feet, and they pull that horse down. Okay, then somebody has to go in there and put a rope on the front feet. A lot of times too, hand it to somebody else. I mean, that's the way it goes. And so it's really violent. So if you had never been around livestock like that in your life, and you want to go in here, pulling them one way, the back feet and the front feet the other, and you want to go in there and examine them, okay, you're going to feel like your life is threatened, and you're going to take one look at this foot and go, yep, yep, no heels, you know, and zoom out. All right. Well, that's exactly what Jamie Jackson did when he saw a horse's foot at a BLM corral. He thought this horse had no heel. Okay. And so you can watch his interview where he calls his friend, Leslie Emery, who wrote a book that said horses should have heels, by the way. Okay. And he told his friend Leslie, yeah, they have no heels, flat as a pancake. Okay. He winds up finding him a dead horse and using the hind foot to do his model of trim that says horses have no heels. Okay. And so now here's this foot here. This is the kind of foot he looked. I'm going to show you the foot he saw that he thought had no heels in a minute after I show you, and it's not the one we've all looked at, the centerfold model. Okay. But I want you to now look at this foot in the center. Now, see, because I've soaked my horse's feet a lot and we have rain here, and I use that moisture to restore the foot and get it to enlarge and unbind and all that stuff. Well, then, so I know the effect that soaking these feet, how they can swell up, and it's good for them. Okay, so now we're going to look at the center picture here where it's dry. All right, and what we're looking at, this was a pretty cool story. Somebody was out there taking a rest, and all these wild horses come and laid down around them, and they took these pictures. And so what we see here is pretty cool. Now here in this picture, I know it's dark, but you can see this foot here is the same as this foot here. Here, I'm going to annotate just a second here and put some stuff away so I can draw it. What color should I use? I'll use red. Okay, let's see. All right. All right. So when we look at this foot here, we see the heel right there, and the frog just seems to be about level with it right here. Okay, here we see the heel. But now here's the thing you need to know. Sometimes the frog, uh, well, the frog is supposed to be anatomically, it attaches to the heel and grows down with the heel. That's what you got here. The frog attached to the heel right here. So you can't even tell there's a heel up in here. Just a minute here. Um, uh, okay, so here's the heel. Here's the heel. Up here is the coronary band and the periopal band. Right, that is supposed to be. Now here is your heel going up to your coronary band right there. And well, let's see, this might be right here. Anyway, it goes all the way up here. That's the heel. And just a minute here. And here is your frog depth right there. Now, because this foot it's more dry and stuff, the foot is contracted because of the dryness. Over here, it's more wet. The foot has expanded. See how wide it is? Just a minute here. Okay. As I said, I've had a cold. So I'm going to have to continually mute myself to cough and blow my nose. To be this sick still, but I am. Okay. So these are the same kind of feet. It's the same anatomy. And all horses have this. This is their anatomy. This is the inner foot. This is what the inner foot grows and support that foot. And this is every single horse. Now, the only difference is, of course, size. Sometimes the steepness of the dorsal wall, depending on the breed. And sometimes the back feel will not be as the very back of the heel of the internal heel is not as long in here. And I'm not talking about the capsule. I'm talking about the inner foot that's in there, which is going to be up in here. Okay. Which would be right about in here, in about an inch. Okay. The back of that heel there is not going to be on a back foot. A lot of times it's not going to be as long here. This is why a lot of times horses will founder in front and not behind when you're trimming the heels out of them, because the front feet refuse They just can't. They don't crush as easily as the back feet because there's more depth in the physical heel right here. To where a back foot, like say, like this foot here, probably has a physical heel about like that. The back feet might have maybe 2/3 of that, about like that. That's just the way they're built. They just have I'm not saying they're all like that, but I've seen it, the difference in the front, the back feet, and in the heels. So, um, so what we're looking at here, this is the true foot of the horse right here. And the frog, the frog actually is supposed to be behind the heels. Anatomically, it is behind the heels, just slightly. See, you can see it here. Look at that thing. Look at the back of this horse's foot. Holy cow. You know, it's humongous. And okay, now look at this one here. Look at this dip, how it goes in like this. That's from it being so dry and the frog being so dry and it contracting. This is not actually this is not actually the norm of the norm. It's not that it's going to hurt that horse this much or nothing. It's just a response to the environment. Okay. But in reality, these horses don't have no big cleavage here like that. That is either from the heels being trimmed out, because as you trim the heels low and the foot tries to stand up again, it takes all this wall and it pulls it around in this way behind itself. So, okay, so what I've been doing as I came to understand this is I have been, what you'll find is a lot of these horses, you haven't even got a real heel buttress. You just got sidewall. It goes like this with some deformed bar. Um, so what you're seeing on this horse would be real, the real heel buttress. Um, Really on both of these horses, you're seeing real heel buttress. Okay, okay, so we're just gonna undo this here for a minute. So, just a second. Okay, so here's another example of the real foot. Now, the hairline, the way you can tell the difference between, because the false foot that develops, they'll think, well, my foot's just like this foot. They'll turn that over and take that picture, that with the foot always upside down. And they'll think it looks similar or like this, but I'll tell you, and of course, this ain't true all the time either. Okay, but usually the hairline is not going to be clear down here, clear down at the ground. Okay, on these horses, well, look at the hairline. The hairline is clear up here. See, his hairline is clear up here. His hairline is way up here. Okay, now this capsule fits his foot, but if he was to go, especially by a barefoot trimmer, you know what they do? They take these heels off, clear up to here, clear up to here, and they would change the whole weight bearing equilibrium of that foot. See? And so, when the people that initially started this whole natural hoof care thing did their research. I'll say mainly it was Jamie Jackson. Okay. Um, when he did his research in the 80s, there were no pictures of wild horse feet. He could have claimed anything, you know, and hang the word natural on it, and everybody's going to go for it, But now there are a multitude of photographers and wild horse advocates and a multitude of photos that show that that model that has been put into the minds of people is not the true foot of the horse. It's an adaptation to environment. Okay. And so you'll hear these people, they'll talk about, well, you're going to mimic the wear of these horses walking 20 miles a day. Well, that kind of environment is not conducive to the best foot of the horse. Say, this horse here doesn't have to walk 20 miles a day. All right. He's at the Salt River. They go stand in the river and eat river grass. They stick their heads clear under and eat the river grass. And so to feed himself. Say, so you can surely find some wild horses with natural feet where they have had to travel too far and it has caused hoof distortion. But what we're looking at here is the true foot of the horse. And so, what I have been doing on my horse is trying to unwrap that frog and get that frog to move back. And it will do it because it's in the anatomy. If it wasn't in the anatomy, it wouldn't have been doing it in my horse now for quite some time. But I didn't know this at first, or I could have been doing, applying some of these principles at first, and then I would be even further along than I am. Here in a while, I will show you some pictures of that. But anyway, I'm going to show you. Okay, so are you understanding what I'm saying here? Are you seeing the difference in this foot, or do I have to draw it again?
I
Because
can see it. I hope everybody else can.
I hope so too. Because if you don't, I want to know right now. Because we will go over this, and I would okay, but it's really, really, really important for you to see the difference between the true foot here and the alternate false versions that people are bringing up, because there's a lot of nice looking feet out there. They have refined the technique for making this look like natural wear. You can form these feet into just about anything and stuff by how you carve on them. Okay. But here's the thing, this is the only true anatomical version. This is what works with all the ligaments and tendons and joints and everything going all up into the leg. It has to be this way for everything to work in its ideal fashion that it was meant to. Anything else takes away from this foot's function to make up for it. Okay. And so the tendons will make up for what you take away the frog. When you're trimming out these heels, you also trim out the depth of the frog. Let me see if I have this one deal here. Let's look at this deal here just a second. I'll show you, because this is going to show you what these feet are like internally. Okay. Okay, so This is the over here, if you can see it, is the barefoot centerfold model of a wild mare. It's the rear foot, by the way. Now, I just got done telling you that the rear feet are different than the front feet. We know they're different. We know they're a different shape, right? Well, let's see here. Let me do the annotate again. I should put this in some. No, right. Um, wait a minute. Just a second here. Let me annotate on this. Do it in red, I guess. Okay, so let's say this is a front foot. Okay, now here's the definition of the heel right here. This is the heel right here. Right here is the back of the coronary band where you grow your heel buttress. See, you grow your heel buttress back here. So right here is your heel. Let me undo that here. You have to be really detailed. This is anatomy. You would want your doctor to be very, very detailed on your internal anatomy. Otherwise, he can kill you. Well, it's no different with these horses' feet. No foot, no horse. And we cannot just form these feet into whatever we want them to be. You know, oh, well, I like this model more. I like this model more because somebody's put that in your head. Okay. And so, because that's put in your head, then you look at something like this, and you go, oh my gosh, that thing, the heels are too long. We need to just chop those off. See there? It doesn't matter. This external has to follow what's internal, what is correctly internal in the foot. And so the heel is like this on a front foot. Okay, on a back foot, it may be, I'm going to do it in blue, it may only come to here. See how it would be shorter back here? So the heel on a back foot would look a little different. See, have a little shorter, maybe be a little shorter. But not necessarily all back feet, but I have noticed this on some horses. More study has to be done on these inner feet, front and back, to determine that. Okay? So you want this capsule to fit this foot. Now, we just looked at some feet. If you choose anything that is not the ultimate size and shape that horse is supposed to have to fit that foot, you're going to have some level of distortion. And so you're going to have some level of dysfunction. Okay. Okay, so just a second here. So those feet we just looked at. Okay, your coronary band, look at this coronary band here. That's your coronary band right here. it's got a nubbin right here that grows, that's connected to your cartilage up here, that grows your heel buttress. Let me look for another color here. Oh, let's make it nice flashy green so you can see it. It grows from this nubbin at the back of the coronary band, and it meets up with the sole at the bottom of the heel and then connects to it, and they grow down to the ground together. And you see how this supports the whole back of the foot? You see that? How it's up there supporting the whole back of the foot, like it would on this here, it'd be like this. And of course, the cartilage is up here too. Now, this foot, well, guess what? This old dead foot too. So we got two dead feet. I wish this dead foot would have been the centerfold model for the bear. So I want you to understand structurally how these things have to be. When, let's see here. Okay, coffin bone. There's your coffin bone right there. All of this back here, a second here. All of this is all your foot too. Here is cartilage and fat. So when you take a hoof capsule off, you know that all this just kind of relaxes and falls down. This little nubbin that sticks out here, buttress. That is called the heel buttress. Buttress. The buttress has been trimmed out by wear, just like you can trim it out with a rasp. Okay. Okay. So you have a good inch and an eighth. You got to where it joins any sole in your heel. So time the heels are trimmed out, you're going to have some sort of version of this. If it isn't like this, the version will be a little different. I'll show you here. Hold on. I got to find this picture. Just a second here. Hold on. Have to you when you they'll crush the heels up and go flat, and you'll be able to pull that hairline down, and then both band, and the way the front bind that one wide wild horse foot with no heels. And remember, if we were to take and look at the front feet of that same horse, you could tell she had, but they didn't use that for their model. You know, they chose a back foot. So they got you trying to put a back foot, a rear foot that's different on the front, many front feet, but not the back. How can that be metabolic? Just a second here. So, second, two different, the two. So you see this foot here? Okay, that foot refused to be pulled down to the ground. It wanted to stand back up and make heel for itself. So let's see here. So your horse, where did the fun like her to come in here and take these heels off? Like, just a minute here, because I did a deal where I did a simulation of what was going on with her on this horse. Took these heels off is just like your nose has a specific spot on your face. You can take your stop pushing again. So when you lower these heels and you pull this cartilage down, you pull back weak enough and short enough, right? Pulls up. You know what it does? Wrap it around behind it. What it was is the strength of that horse, the low, and it pulls forces. You're not only pulling, wants to snap back on fat. Fat pressing on fat, and it's all pushing back. Push ligament, tendon, muscle, pastern up into the knee, into the well. That's why when these horses keep suffering severe rotation in laminitis and snap a tendon, cut a tendon, do a tendon from that pull, that tendon pulling that foot up, supposed to be. And so there's that tremendous pressure. Now, not only that, back here and think about something. You just think about these things. Just a second here. Gotta find it. If I take this and all that soft tissue, cushion and the cartilage and all the other things that are there, did they just disappear? No, they got compressed and squeezed and forced into a smaller container. Are not exactly anatomically the way they're supposed to be, Now they can have a variation and still not have, necessarily a lot of damage or something like that. Bound they are, the more inflammation they're going to have. And can a horse like this seem sound? Everything like that, and they can't feel anything, but they're going to pay for it somewhere else as well. Like I said, in the tendons and stuff, because the way this foot works is a marvel. I mean, it really is a marvel. Okay, so I want to go back to this one picture. See, this is about understanding under the horse, because he's meant to adapt to survive. His foot can get and adapt, but somewhere he's going to pay. We don't want our horses to have to pay for it, right? We want them to have the best feet possible so that they live the least problems. No arthritis when their feet are in pain all the time. Mm, I have no idea who. Okay, when their feet get gut problems, just like people do, you're going to get, people from high stress unit, just like we are. So their bodies inflammation like ours do. Okay, so anyway, I want to go back to this. Let's see, where are we at? Here we are. Okay. Um, so I'm not saying this foot here, over here on the left.
New share.
Sorry. Thank you. I need an assistant. Okay, so I'm not saying this foot's necessarily perfect, okay, but I'm saying this is more the true foot of the horse here than this one, and that horse's foot to be. And I want you to see the difference in the internal anatomy and what happens. Um, just a minute, I need to do something here. Hold on. I want to put this in a photo thing so I can enlarge it. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Hold on. I think I did one, but and I can use it somewhere else as well. Yes. Okay. Oh, I just gotta go find it. Hold on. Let's see. See, you with these feet, as you look at feet, you're gonna want to you discern, you judge. You look at the different parts and then you judge. You look at your own discernment to discern between what's true and what's not, to what's distorted and what's correct, and what's anatomically correct and what is correct. And the whole purpose is because it has to do with function. I think. Oh, okay, because I wanted to enlarge that. Okay, so to reiterate here on something, hold on. Got to find my other photo. Just a second. What did I do with that? I lost my picture. Hold on. Do, 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 do. Well, I know it's here somewhere. Just a second here. We'll close that. Close that. Just a second. Got too many windows open. If you have too many windows open, then you go to try and find the window you're looking for. You can't find it. And now, okay, well, I'm going to put this on here for a second while I go try and find these other ones. Okay. Now I've lost all my pictures. Just Okay, I think I got them now. Okay, so we're going to go here to remind you what we are doing here. Okay, that this is an example of three, one super duper anatomically correct foot, which is right here. And I wish I would have had time to run it through, like I get out those online programs where you can clear them up some, but I didn't on these ones. But I'm hoping that you're getting an example of how different this foot is than from what we normally see. The difference in the frog. These are the Salt River horses in Arizona, and they stand in the river half the day eating grass. Do you know that uh okay, so I keep referring because okay, we have a right if we're told that somebody did research and we're to believe their research or whatever. Okay, so when they tell you they live in a dry area, that is not actually true. And so the half their day on the river, they and they stand in the river and they own horse from being in a very wet environment. If your feet are have some problems, listen up, and then that foot that's been compressed is might just come out of the back of the capsule where the heels have been trimmed too low. Oh, just a second here. So, so they'll say, yeah, wild horses, they just want to be in the dry, blah blah blah. No, that's not actually true. Anytime, and so my horses that where I'm in a climate, just a second. Again, sorry, but I have to keep coughing. Um, take a drink of something. Where I'm in a climate where it can be wet for a month, and my feet are as hard as a rock because my horse has close to anatomically correct feet. They might not look like what image has been put in your mind they should look like, but anatomically, he's got some really super good things going for him. He's got good soul ridge, he's got heels. Just a second. Yeah, I'm telling you, if I'd have known I was going to still be sick, I probably would have waited till next week. Oh well. All right. So that's why these horses can be in the water constantly and their feet are just good and get better and better, you know? And I mean, like they're perfect. And so that's why you see the back of this foot like this is humongous. And the frog, the frog is huge. All right. Okay. Now here we're in a drier climate. I'm going to do this again. Just a minute here. I need to annotate. Hold on. Let's do light blue. What the heck? Okay, here's your frog depth. Here's your heel. Yeah, that's your frog depth. Okay, here's your coronary band width. What would be your let's see here. Yeah, that's coronary band width there. And I'm talking about your bulb covering. Okay, I'm talking about this back here. Okay, the frog goes, that'd be the frog stay clear up in the back of the foot here. See, look at the heel here on that horse. This horse over here. Again, we started this because somebody could look at a foot like that and think it has thick, fat frog. Okay. The heel goes like this and then clear up into here. Then the coronary band is clear up here, like so. This frog here goes way up high into the foot back here. See this back here? High up into the back of the foot, back in here. Now, this horse lives in a drier climate, and so his feet here have dried out and contracted a bit, and the frog is not attached to the heel. Here, the frog is probably attached to the heel. And so somebody would mistake this for a horse having no heel. And then, just a minute here, let me undo this. And then, if they Of course, I had to lose my thing. Just a minute here. I keep losing my photos because this stupid thing used to be that Zoom would let you do a full screen share, so it didn't matter what you were sharing, but they don't anymore for some reason. Okay, we'll go to here now. Let's see, new share. Okay, so those feet we just saw are like this foot over here on the left. Okay, so if you saw that first foot with that big frog with the frog skin attached to the heel, you would think it had low heels because you don't know the anatomy to begin with. That has no heels, you would think it's the same foot if you don't know what you're looking at to begin with, right? That's how Jamie Jackson mistook this foot as being as the same one foot he took a photo of in the Litchfield Corrals. Okay, so I'm going to show you that foot. So hold on. I'm going to find that foot, and you're going to see, you've never seen, most of you, unless you ever bought, see in his first three books, The Natural Horse, same edition, 92. That's why you and I are here today, people, because of him, because he claimed to do reading. Before that, it was all farriers. It's because of him, because of his claimed research on wild horses, that we are here. Whether you ever heard of him, whether you've ever read anything about his research, him, and then you add to him Dr. Hildred Strasser out of Germany. First, it was him. He didn't know what to call his trim that he was basing on this one foot here. Finally, he called it the natural trim. Then it came to be known as the barefoot trim. And he did it because he thought farriers would do it. Well, that didn't catch on. And us women were looking for another profession. so there you go. And so he started teaching it to horse owners, horse owners. And people started going to clinics to learn to do their own horse's feet. But it was all based on this foot here. And it was because he made a mistake when he got a chance to look at one of those feet of BLM. Now, he claimed he looked at a lot more, that he took photographs. Unfortunately, I've only seen one photograph. He didn't have any of these natural horse lessons from the wild for the domestic horse that started the barefoot movement. And the reason that you and I are here today was on this foot here, right here, and his book that he did in 1992. Again, another edition in 1997 because it kind of took on. And then another edition in 2020 because by then it had exploded. Okay. Now you need to read and understand this movement and its history and the people in it to understand hoof care. And not just that, but then you go back 250 years to that. See, I'm not doing this the way I was supposed to, but I will. Okay, so because I just see it is not this foot here. Now I want you to look at the internal. We just looked at that foot that had a frog clear up between the bulbs, at least almost 2 inches, heels 2 inches, frog clear up between the bulb 2 inches. You know, the inner foot looks like this, right? This whole thing above the hairline, your foot does not end at the hairline. It's clear up here. See it? That is the inner foot. That's your horse's foot, not the shell. And so this shell has to grow from and fit this foot like it is. Now, this back half is all cartilage and fat. So the only way that it maintains its shape, its form, its position, and its function. Position. When I say position, I mean like the nose on your face. This foot, this part of the foot, has a specific position that it is meant to be. And because it is formed of cartilage and fat, same stuff in your nose. Only different than your nose is it has to have the support of the hoof capsule that grows from it to be able to maintain its shape and its form so that it can maintain its correct function. And so this is it, period. That coronary band was meant to be straight and to come out like this and curve down to the ground. That coronary band, okay, when you get back to here, here's your heel on the inner foot. The inner foot, it has a nubbin, an extension right here, from which grows the heel buttress that connects to the back of the heel and underneath the back of the collateral up in the position that it's supposed to be in. So if you come and just decide, well, I think that the heels should be lower. Well, if you cut this heel off, you force this cartilage down. This is why I like to say your nose. It's as clear as nose on your face. If I take my finger and I push my nose over, does my nose just give up and want to stay there? Part of my nostril, so I can't breathe. My nose doesn't function correctly. Like I'm talking to you now and I'm pushing my nose over the side of my face. You should do that. You should experiment. You should take your finger and you should put it on your nose and just push it over and just stay there for a while. Feel inflammation after a bit. Yeah, you're going to get inflammation. You're not going to be able to breathe properly. And I'm just barely pushing my nose over. And so that is exactly what starts to happen and the stupidest thing in the world is mimicking wear for 20 miles a day on a horse, for crying out loud. My God, every 2 weeks, I'm going to mimic how many, let's see, 20 miles a day times 14. How many miles is that? So every 2 weeks on my 2-week trim schedule or 3, I'm going to mimic however many hundreds of miles that horse might have traveled during that time. Well, here's the thing that they don't think about. The whole time that horse is wearing, he's growing. He's wearing, he's growing. So you just can't come along in 2 or 3 weeks and take off, 150 miles worth of wear and grows at the same rate. See, you don't do that in a 2 and 3 week trim interval. See, that distorts the feet to do that like that. Ramping heels, beveling heels. You bevel this heel off here and it starts to pull this cartilage down like that to make a foot like that. Okay, so this foot here is like the one we looked at. Now let's look at the internal. We saw that the frog was high up between the bulbs. Okay, now this here is even though it's a simulation, this part of it is out of the foot of a wild horse. Can't remember which one. And you see, this is what you call a sagittal section, where sagittal, however you pronounce it, where they cut it right down the center. So this shows you how high up between the bulbs that frog is supposed to be. See? Okay, look at this one over here. See how high up between the bulbs it was on that horse? And look at now, let's go over and look at this foot. Never mind what's going on with the digital cushion. Look at the frog. See, this whole heel has been trimmed out. As you trim the heels out, it pulls the whole back of the foot down and under. And it stretches the digital cushion. This is the digital cushion. There ain't no frog in this horse. You see that? No frog up high between the bulbs anymore. Hairline is clear down at the ground. Now you can have a foot that looks similar to this, cleared down at the ground. Why is that? Because instead of the coronary band being pulled down like this, the coronary band instead will stay straight because the foot will pull back up and it literally curls in behind the foot. And so the foot gets smaller, but it looks similar. The coronary band is not at a 30 hairline, coronary band, whatever you want to call it. It's all right there in the same spot. It's not at a 30-degree angle. Okay, so the digital cushion is different. See it? The frog is different. The sole is going to be different. Frog depth is going to be different. Hairline is going to be different. The foot is not going to function the same as a correct, true foot is supposed to function. And so, you got people that are pretty good at like really beautiful feet, and they look beautiful, but they are not anatomically correct. And those horses are all going to pay down the line, because when your anatomy is force changed or broken or altered, other parts of your body have to try to compensate for that. So, okay, so I'm going to show you this other foot. Now, are you understanding this at all?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. It can be a head wrapper. Look at these. I'll post all these pictures. And if you just study them and think about them, think about it. Think about the foot is like your nose. Okay. Here your nose is left unmolested. Okay. Here, base. That is a semi-equivalent. Form and function in anatomy go together. Now, this might look nice. In fact, they're developing some feet with their trims that look way better than this one. Okay. But this is what they're doing to it over here. So you got to pay the piper somewhere, you know. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. I have to remember where this is at. We'll go back to here. You can look at this while I'm looking. Give it a study. Now I got a bunch more pictures of this, a wild horse feet, where they have lots of heel. Second. Okay. Now I just have to remember what I did with this picture. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, and so I'm going to show you this along with some more wild horse feet that are just like the ones we just seen. Okay. New share. Okay. Okay, so this is somebody took these pictures of some dead wild horse out somewhere. It might have been a Brumby, I don't know, but you can see that this horse did not live in a super, super, super dry environment. Look, he's got mud on his feet. Okay, so again, let's look here at the configuration of the back of the foot. Do the annotate. Okay, I got blue. Now, here's the coronary band going back into the bulb area. All right, the frog starts here and grows clear down to there. See it? That's frog. The heel starts here and grows clear down to here. See that? See, that horse has a lot of heel, a lot of depth of frog. The frog is high up in the foot. This is what Casanopon meant, that general from Greece that was trained cavalry horses. Okay, told people first thing you want to look at when choosing a war horse, which is way more important than choosing a dressage or a barrel horse, I would say, since your ultimate life depends on it, right? That the first thing you look at is the feet. High ones that are high in front and high behind. What's that mean? High in front and high behind. They got some heel. Okay. Are the back in the foot and up off the ground. Now, what he meant by high in the foot was, look at this. Just a minute. Let me grab another color here. This is the frog again. High in the foot, high up. Remember, we just looked at the internal anatomy, which, why do these pictures keep disappearing on me? This is irking me. Anyway, we just looked at the frogs high up in the foot. See, let's look over here. Okay, now look here. Look at this one. You see how the, let me get rid of this just a second here. Look at this one over here. You see how the skin, the frog skin is attached to the heel? Just a minute. You see that? You don't see that split. You can't see the split where the heel is right here because the skin is still attached here to this part and go, yeah, see, he's got low heels. This is the big mistake they're all making. Okay, we got a 3D times 210 object here. And so they just look at this little nubbin and go, yeah, he's got low heels, low heels. Okay, they do not understand this stuff here. Just a minute here. Okay, so where's the heel? Right here. That's what happened. That's the heel length right there. Here's the coronary band up here. And here's the frog. Big, thick, deep frog right there. High up between the foot here. So they don't see that. They just see this little nub and go, yep, it's got low heels. So to somebody who has never, ever, ever seen a foot like this in their life, okay, all they've seen is, well, I could show you a picture of what they'd seen. All they've seen is heels that stick out. Well, let me undo this here. I'll show you what they see. All they've seen is heels like this that come down like this. Okay, you take this and cut it out. Okay, there's just a space, not a lot of frog. All they've ever seen is just a bare heel. They've never seen a foot and it has grown attached to the heels and is 2 inches, a minimum of 2 inches thick in here. So you come over here and let me undo this. And you look at that foot and you just see that little nub in there and you think, it ain't got no heels, short heels. Boy, flat. Look, it's just flat. You know that, or they've seen horses with no heel and didn't know the difference, and that were flush with no frog. See, you have that too. Like on this foot here, you can tell the difference a little bit. This is a different foot than that one. I don't know if there's two horses or if this was, same feet off, whatever. But so here you can see a little bit more. Okay. So they've never seen those feet before. Now I want you to look at this foot here for the first time. Okay. You would think it had no heel because you see how full the frog is back here? Like the foot we saw on the Salt River horse. Just a minute here. Hold on. My pictures aren't being cooperative in what I want to do. It's irking me. Um, Let me get that picture again so we can compare them side by side. See, picture's worth 1,000 words. Yeah, that's not it. Hopefully, you're going to see the similarity. You really have to develop an eye for it, or they all just look the same to you, kind of. Um, let's see, new share. Okay. Okay, so look here. Look at this foot here. Okay. See how full it is back here? See how the heels look? If you didn't know all this was here and you're just looking at the bottom, you know, and you just haven't got all that much time to really, really, really look at it, you're going to think it has low to no heel. This foot here. Okay, now, again, compare it to this foot here.
Yeah,
Okay, now, you ever see anything that looked like that?
not on my.
Yeah, me neither. Anybody else? Anybody ever seen anything look like that on the back of a horse's foot? I haven't.
Where did that picture come from?
Well, I
It
would
is
tell
obvious.
you. What happened to my picture? Eh. Yeah, it is a trimmed foot, isn't it? Just a minute here. I gotta go find it again. I did something. Yeah, this is gonna be a big surprise. Where'd that picture come from? um, oh god. Okay, where are you? Screen sharing has stopped. Okay, well, I'll start it again here. Let me put it on that one. Go find that picture again because somehow I got rid of it. Huh. Oh, okay. Well, there it is. Okay. Second. New share. Okay, now remember, wait a minute. Okay, so this is getting really irksome that this thing will not let me switch back and forth between these two pictures. Like why not? Just a second. New share. Now I don't have any of them. This stupid thing. My computer is sabotaging me. Here, just a minute. Let me figure out what's going on. See, all these should just be up there so that I can switch right on them, and it's just not let me do that. Stupid dang thing.
Linda,
Get over this.
hi, this is Alena from Hungary.
Yeah.
Somebody actually,
Well,
hi,
hello.
it's so nice to hear you finally. I
Thank
just
you.
did in comments a photo of a similar food, and it's a Mustang
Yeah,
food, and
okay.
who posted? I don't remember the
Okay.
name of the lady. So if this lady is on, on the call and she recognizes
Okay,
it,
great.
please, she can come forward.
Okay.
It's her property.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
she just sent it in comments in response to my
Okay.
post or something. I just don't remember. I sent you a photo of a baby's food, like
Yes, I
three
want to
days
show
old,
that too.
and
Yes,
that
yes.
has the same configuration.
Yes, yes, that was so timely, wasn't it?
Yes.
See how we all work together? That, it's like some sort of divine intervention says, "Hey, look at this." Okay, all right, will. Okay, so here's that
Yeah, I
foot.
send it to you.
Okay,
Actually, it's a very clear shot, so might be nice to
okay,
open it
I'm
to
gonna go there
show.
right away and look. Okay, hold
I
on.
just have to save it, and it has very uniform thickness of the
Okay.
wall, including the bars. It's very interesting food to look at. I
Okay.
just need to.
No, I know what you mean. Let's see. Well, of course, I got to put in my code for stupid messenger. What the heck was that all about? They want to just screw with this. Let's see. Just a minute, I'll find that picture. Okay. Um, let's see here. Do. I got your messenger and it's slowly choosing to load. See there, did anybody else notice how they changed messenger? Did they do it to anybody else? Where you got to put in that stupid code?
Yes.
Like what is the deal there? So they know
Security or
something. It was, yeah, okay.
Well, I've got a few conspiracy theories. No, I'm just joking.
I have to leave, Linda. Thank you so much. I have learned so much. Again, you hear this stuff and there's always something new. Thank you.
Hey, I'm sorry I didn't get to your horse fully.
Hey, that's all right. That's okay.
You know how I get distracted?
No.
No.
That's okay. I'll catch you next week and I'll catch the rest of this on the recording. Thanks much.
Okay. Bye-bye. Well,
Bye.
This thing, let me refresh my screen and see if it'll come in. Okay, maybe it's in now. Okay, well, so a lady sent you a picture?
It was actually not a lady. I found him. His name is Dean Houghton, or I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Houghton.
Okay, and you just sent it to me?
I sent it to you, yeah.
Is it I'm gonna send it back to you to make sure it's the right one.
Yeah, okay. It's the last one.
Okay, so I just sent it back to you and you tell me if that's the same one.
No.
No. Okay. Well,
all right.
That's not it.
Okay, so I will send it again.
Okay, yeah, send it again. Because that's the one I thought I sent you. And I was like, oh, he's sending me the same one you sent. Or I sent. Okay.
No. Okay, Keith. And I am sending. No.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's a nice image he sent.
Yeah, and so I can show this? Can I
Sure.
show this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. New share. Yeah. There you go. Look at that. See, now the configuration. See, it's the configuration. I can show you a picture of a foot. Somebody would think was the same, but there's no heel. The hairline is clear down at the ground.
So he's saying, I'm just reading the comment, it's a Mustang not trimmed for a year.
Wow. Well, see how that horse has maintained his own feet? You know,
Amazing.
it
I
is
just
amazing.
love how the hoof wall, including the bars, is uniform
Yeah.
in thickness.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so up here, his coronary band's going to be up here. The frog is going to come clear down like that, and the heel is this, well, way up here, like so. So just exactly what we were seeing. I mean, see, now look over here, how the frog is attached more on this side. A person would look at this configuration here where the frog is low and almost equal with the heel, and they would think, well, that horse has low to no heel, right? If you didn't know what you were looking at. Because see, a lot of times all people are looking at is the bottom of the foot here. See? Well, that's awesome. That is a fabulous example. Well, since we're here, now we're going to look at this foal's feet. Just a minute. What am I doing? Oh, oops. I gotta erase that. Since we're here, we'll look at them bull's feet. Now, see, there's that picture of, see, even more massive than the one we just looked at, you know. Now, Marilyn said, that foot looks trimmed. What does everybody else think? Look at the wall. Doesn't it look like it's had a rasp run over it?
The edges look very sharp.
Yeah, because if you look at the foot over here, just a minute.
Yeah, there is a rope.
They're roped. And if you look at the edges over here, they're not rasped. So he rasped this. I'll tell you about this, more about this foot later. Okay, here's the baby foot. And what you see here is the frog behind the heels and quite a bit of depth. Quite a bit of depth here. Okay, so this, what?
I don't know.
Who's that?
That's quite funny.
Oh, I better mute you. It's the same foot. This is so fabulous and so timely. Let me annotate here. Okay, this is just the baby version of the same darn thing. Okay, so here's your heel. Here's your bar going down there. Okay, here's your frog. Now this on a baby, that's a lot of heel. There's your frog. And what's interesting, you see how the frog attaches to the heel here? Okay, and this is why I say you got to keep these frogs exfoliated and growing as the foot grows. Otherwise, the frog will bind the foot to be smaller than it's supposed to be. But this is the same foot. It's just that we never get to see these feet in their most pristine, perfect form. Yeah, see, I think we can be better than nature. You know, nature's a pretty arbitrary shrew. Nature will kill you. Let's see here. How do I undo this? Okay. Let's look at some more the baby foot here. Now, how old was this foal?
I think it was like 2 days, 3
Wow.
days.
So his frog had not even dried out yet or anything.
No, and what is interesting, it looks like if we think about the internal anatomy and how the little frog unfolds, because it looks like if you look at it here, it has like 2 lips, and then the central sulcus, or where it should be, it's like sucked in and it's coming up and it's opening up from the center. So it's like a bud of a flower that is submerged into the foot. That's and so it's cool. Coming out and opening up. Like. That kind of helps me to understand if we look at a deformed foot, especially the ones that are really squished and bound from the from the front to the back. I think because they're folding like petals of the flower that is closing, and we need to open it up gradually.
That's a nice analogy. I like that.
Like a flower, and you put it in tea, and it like in the water, and it opens up somehow.
Flower. Okay, now look at the heel. This Coltaz heel. You know what they're doing now? Well, now this frog will dry out, and it might go a little lower, because they say, oh. Well, we'll give him a chance to build up his.
Actually, that's cushion. What I did in our first fall, because we were told to do it. The feet that looked like sucked in. I didn't realize that. I thought he had. It looked like the Coca-Cola bottles. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there. I had to.
Sorry. Yeah.
I had to mute myself for a second. I blew my nose.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting. That and see. Frog and heel, you got to look at proportions here.
Cute.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's just so beautiful. And look, see the frog stay. These frogs are meant to be way far back. But you know what the counterfeit version is? Taking the heels down to the base, thinking that you're gonna give them a wider platform. These feet is a specific configuration. They have to have heel. I don't care if it looks run forward to you. Heels were trimmed out or left too long at one time. You have to grow the foot in such a way that you restore the heels so they will sinking them down, because that puts everything at an angle, lower angle, so that the horn tubules are forced to grow forward. You have to elevate the foot.
Can I ask you a question about this picture, Linda?
Sure.
Because if you have a look at the shape of the bars, and also you compare the sole ridge on the left and front, it looks quite different. You see, because on the right side of the picture, it looks more, the bar is more laid over, and the sole ridge is not so pronounced. And also, the whole shape is different. Don't you agree? It's kind of looks flatter than in comparison to the left side, which more appears to be more upright already.
Yeah, it is a little bit, but I mean, it's just now drying out. And stuff
it's
like
just,
that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. And so, it could be prone to be that way a little bit, but maybe that's something when they're babies, a person could kind of correct a little bit once we get to know them more.
Yeah, I need to take another set of pictures.
Yeah. Now, is this your Foal?
Yeah. It's our.
Okay. Well, see, this is great because now we can watch and see how his foot develops and see.
I actually didn't touch her, but unfortunately, we don't have a good terrain in the sense we have sand. So it's not great for feet development.
I don't know. I think it'll probably be okay.
Well, I'll have a look anyway. I haven't touched her feet. I only took the apex, or just a little bit, tried to clean the frogs, but just scraping the bars a little bit, but I didn't actually check, so I have to go and check.
Well, this is great. Well, these are just the best pictures ever. Now, here's that foot again. Okay. Now, let me tell you. Now, you want to hear the story on the foot? Where the foot came from? Okay, first I gotta show you something. Let's go back the other direction. Okay, as I tell you about this foot, I gotta show you this other deal here. Just a second here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, hold on. hold on. I got something we got to read first. And probably put in the deal of this thing. So, what right do these people have to come along and say they did all this research and that's a good one. Did all this research and we're just supposed to accept their word for it and not check it out, when, let's say, our very lives depend on it, okay? Or especially if it's anything medical concerning our uh horses or anything like that. Now, say I had this okay, hold on. Do 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 do. I suppose I can't find it again. Okay, so I'm going to show this picture, and I'm telling you right now, what we do here, I don't do this for money. This is research. It's been research for years. It's been called a research teaching, so research, so fair use, the fair use doctrine, where you can take these people's photos and their baloney and use it for criticism, all right, for teaching, for research, or for parody. See? So I am using this picture under the fair use doctrine. All right, so now let's go to the picture. I'm going to tell you the story about the picture. All right? But first, let's go to this other picture. Just a minute here, and I'll tell you the story of it. I've already told you the story kind of a few times. Let's see, where am I at? New share. Okay. Well, okay, so we're going to go over here to this foot here, okay? Okay, so this is the barefoot mantra, idol, centerfold, poster child foot right here. All right, now, does everybody know the history of this foot? That this was a foot of a wild mare, that this a rear foot, rear foot of a wild mare that died in a roundup conducted by the Bureau of Land Management in the 80s. And that was at the Palomino Valley, who wrote the book called The Natural Horse, Lessons from the Wild for the Domestic Foot that every domestic horse ought to have. Right here. Heel height, everything. He said all wild horses had the same basic heel height, centimeter. And he said he did 3 editions of that book, 1992. From the research he said he did from 1982 to 1984. And first he said it was in 1984. Said he did 107 horses in his first 2 editions. He said he did 107 horses, 1992 edition, 1997 edition, ads to sell stuff. And then added he had met Hildred Strasser in the meantime, so he was promoting her book too. And so, and of course, there's some places over in Europe won't even let you do her trim there or talk about it. So, at around 400 feet, and he specifically said, I was able to measure, examine, and photograph 400 wild, just take ELM, at their facility in Litchfield, California. Okay, fine. Well, why isn't there one single photograph? Instead, what we got is this picture of this foot here and its mate, the front foot that had run forward heels, as the ideal model. Then he does another dig and everything like that. This went off. And because there's a big hole in fairy reed anyway, see? So because of social media, this went off. That's why you and I are here. You and I are here because of this foot and that man. So time he's famous, pretty much. He's famous and making a lot of money with his books and his classes and his clinics. The price he charges for an evaluation, I think for an hour is like $300. So in 2020 puts out another edition. He's changed 150 horses. He more than doubled the amount of horses he said he did in the first two editions. He says, now I've done, he said, over 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet, I was able to measure, examine, and photograph not one photo of any of those specific feet. Now he's got some pictures of some other feet, but not any of those feet. Not that I could ascertain. But he has this foot as the poster child model for everything. So, okay, whatever, you know. Book. And this book is in how to trim. And in that book, we got this picture that I've been showing you. This one picture with the number 2 on it. Now, it's something interesting here. And that is a couple things. If he took 1,000 pictures, why weren't there any in the first 3 editions of The Natural Horse? And he will make excuses saying, well, I'm not that good a photographer. Well, guess what? I've seen other pictures he took that were just fine, you know. So it makes me question, when he got in there, into that corral, and he put his life in danger for, and he said he had to leave because he didn't have the right materials to do the measurements. That's why he had to make his hoof meter reader, that a real farrier gauge wouldn't work. My question is, well, did he ever go back one dead foot and base it all on that? Because he looked at this one picture and said, they have no heels. He says that in an interview, that he got into the corrals, got a look at a foot, got out of there at great peril to his own life, and he called his friend Leslie. The horses have no heels. And Leslie Emery says, well, what's the angle of the dorsal wall? And jail. And Leslie Emery says, well, how can they have no heels and still have a steep dorsal wall? Because you got to understand, the dorsal wall steeper. And Jamie says, I don't know. I got to figure that out. How can they have a deep, steep dorsal wall? And so he did figure it out. The thing was, he sure couldn't have figured it out from looking at the feet of horses at the Great Basin where he says he did his research. We're going to look at this foot here, and I'm going to explain something to you that I found out about the research, that he thinks they have no heel. But I don't believe he did 1,000 feet. And asked about the pictures, he sidesteps the issue. See? So let me find this other photo here. Let me new share. Is in his book on trimming. A book he wrote on trimming. I got to find the name of it. Like Paradise. I got all these books here. This second. Horse Owner's Guide to Natural Hoof Care. Okay? And let's see here. Let me turn that around. You know, you did some research. Well, I deserve to know about this foot here. Let me turn it around. About this foot here. Right here. I got the book here. This is what he says in the caption under that foot. The first time I saw wild horse hoof, the most natural hoof in the world, which I photographed at some personal risk. Now you want to tell me he got in there with the 1,000-word personal risks? Was that the, I don't know, maybe he did. I want to see the pictures. I want more pictures. You're going to, and photographed 1,000 feet. I'd like to see some more pictures. Now maybe he did, but I just want to, he didn't understand this foot because I just spent 2 hours explaining to you what is really going on with this is for a fact. That he got in there, that he looked at this little nubbin here, anything like that, and neither have any of us, right? He thought it had no heels. And the time that he was able to get in there was examine that. So he says, and again, why am I affected all of us? We're all here because of this. Our horses feed visions to his supposed research. So he says, the first time I saw wild horse hoof, the most which I photographed at some personal risk, was from the end of a BLM ranking, a while back, 99, okay? Even experienced as I was being a professional hoof care provider, the natural hoof you see here challenged me to measure assumptions and understandings of the equine hoof's size, shape, proportion, and function. That I don't blame him. Me too. You know, he says this weird thing is literally pasted on the hoof. One of several hundred photographs I cataloged. All right, now you see this picture here? In the original photograph, number of programs that made it clearer and clearer and clearer. And once you get it through all of those, it doesn't look like the number 2 was pasted on the foot itself. It looks like the number 2 sticker was pasted on the photograph. All right. So I don't know. Was this foot number 1 and the only one? Because this is the only foot I've ever seen of his research. Now, I have a right to question because I want to show you the same kind of research done by somebody else 2 years later or a year later than him. And see, not only did in the first 2 books, he said he did it in 1984, then he doubled the number he did it in the 2020 edition, doubled the number he said he did. And he said, oh, and I did it in 1983 and 84. Okay. And there's many more discrepancies about these claims. See, now I believe him that he's sincere, that he thinks horses don't have any heel. But I question, did he do 1,000 feet? Did he measure, examine, and photograph 1,000 feet? If so, why didn't he put any of the pictures, except for this one later in 99, in any of his books? And anytime he's asked about them, he skirts it. He skirts the issue. See? So I believe him that he got this foot, that he saw that foot, and he said it has no heel life anymore. I don't know. You know, I don't know the whole truth, but I would like to know the whole truth. But it seems to me if you're going to do some research, you know, another thing, he names the vets that gave him, and I called this veterinarian that gave him these feet at Palomino Valley facility. He names the vets. He names other officials of BLM work hand in hand, close quarters with vets and wranglers. He does not mention their names. Why? Why? You know, see, just a lot of discrepancies. But I'm going to mind if it came to be that maybe he didn't do 1,000 horses, because I took your advice. I had this picture here posted in my folder that I tried to put on my horse for like 7-8 years. So yeah, I mind as to whether your research is accurate or fact. People I know who trimmed their horses into a state of no return, if you get my drift. I was going to show you something. Now I can't remember what it was. Oh, Gene Ovanik's research. See, this is the thing we have to fall back on. And in 1986 and 87, unbeknownst, these two did not know each other. Who has pictures? And his pictures disagree with everything Jackson those pictures so you can see. See? And you need to go to his channel under those corrals for a very short period of time, and then making some excuse about how to make me a hoof meter reader. You know, I wonder, did he come back at great peril to his? Where are the pictures? Where are the photographs? I just want to see more. I want to see more evidence that you actually measured, examined, and photographed. We wrote him twice, by the way. Wrote him once and asked him why the discrepancies in the 3 books, to where it seemed like he changed the number. Oh, well, that was all up to the book publisher. He had nothing to do with it. So I got a hold of the illustrator on that book as published, and I said, tell me, does the author, I said, you did this book for so-and-so, does the author? He says, of course, the author has everything to say with the final published work. You know, wrote him again, asked him about, wouldn't write back, then had his wife write. All right. had his wife write and say, oh, he's busy, you know, doing this, that, and the other, keeping records. What I just read? He just said, I cataloged these photographs of the same kind of feet. Just a second here. The true foot of the horse. What is the true foot of the horse? You know, these animals have served us, humankind, for centuries upon centuries. And all we have done for them is one injustice after the next. Here, okay, here we go. New share. So this is Gene Ovnick. Now, Gene Ovnick, these would be front feet. See where the direction the rope is headed? And the other feet we looked at, tied together, the rope was headed the front. And so Gene Ovnick in 86 and 87, he did the same kind of research. He had no idea about Jamie Jackson. Jamie Jackson's book didn't come out till 1992. Okay? So this is one picture of his that he had board also, painted a board and then put it on the bottom of the foot to try and figure out where the horse bore weight. And he come up with toes. See the black mark there and the black mark there? There'll be a black mark on each heel. That's where those black marks are there. And then you see this line from there to there. That's where he saw the breakover as being. So there's another one. Look, you can see the rope. It's probably a front foot. There's another one, both in his live interview on YouTube and in his book, that he got in the corrals and it became apparent that a farrier's hoof gauge to tell the angle of the dorsal wall, that of nature's hoof. Okay. And so he said he got out of the corrals and he told the wranglers, well, thanks, fellas, but, you know, I just ain't got the right 2 miles out. And he says, and I went to town and I went to the hardware store and I got me a couple of them plastic signs. And, you know, I knew a little bit about math. So that's when I developed my hoof meter reader. Okay, it's because you got to have a flat surface. So I take my clipboard with my hoof meter reader, and that's how I measured all these hooves. Just a second. Well, it doesn't look like Gene is having a hard time with the rest, like it fits on that foot just fine. So, you know, what was that? Some excuse to get the heck out of there so I didn't have to get in there and endanger myself. I don't know. Where's the pictures? Where's the pictures? Gauge works good here. Now, square tag. Don't think he ain't seen these pictures. Once you know this is a square tag and how it looks, not on a photograph. Okay, it's not on a photograph. It's literally on the horse's foot. Now, if we're going to go back and look at that other picture, that the more I put it through the program to straighten out and get it clear, the more you could see that circled number 2 looked like a sticker somebody put on a photograph. Not saying that's what he did, just saying that's what it looked like. Let's look at some more. That's another picture Gene took. There's another one. Here we go. Gene didn't have no problem taking pictures. Jamie took pictures of other things. You know, he took all the pictures of that one dead wild horse foot that we're all trying to form our own horse's feet into. Gene, this is some of Gene's work looking at toe distortions. This is some more of his work. Pictures of wild horse hooves. More pictures. Well, this is a domestic foot here, I think. This is a wild horse foot here. Him trying to understand. He created the natural balance shoeing method. I don't totally agree with that, but I know for a fact that his research is truly based on what he saw. I don't agree with all his conclusions, but I know he did it. So there you have it. So where are the pictures? I want to see the pictures of them 1,000 hooves that I believed you to base trimming my horse on. See, these people come along and they tell you this, that, and the other thing. Well, you need to research the research. See, research the researcher. So let's go back to that picture. Here. Again, I want you to see this. Look at how that looks. See there, taken around, same type of photographic equipment being used for that time period. I can tell that that's stuck on that horse's foot. See? Let's see. Now I'm lost. Wait a minute. See, everything you guys been being taught, this is all where it comes from. You know, so I believe him when he says that he didn't think horses had no heel. I seriously question till I see at least 10 pictures, at least as many as I've seen here of these horses. If he did actually go back and do that, measure, examine, photograph 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet. Where are the pictures? If it was me, you know, I'd post them. Good, bad, wrong, indifferent. I'd be posting them, you know. Let's see here. Let me look up a different version of that foot. Just hold on. Hold on. Just a second. HI. Now, I've done my research on the researcher for a couple years now. You know, I used to think all this was the same. Gene Overnick, Jamie Jackson, oh, just all the same deal, right? Nope. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, it's not. They came to two completely different conclusions when it comes to heels. Let's see. Where am I at? HIJ. We'll go to my Jackson file. Let's see. New share. See, I know about his research. I got this kind of stuff here. You know, see, I took and I measured the drawings of all the feet he did where he said, he says in his interview they have no heels. Well, he's right. He drew them with no heels. So he taught us to trim the heels out and dump our horses on their bulbs. I have showed you how wild horses have heel and a lot of it. See? So he tries in the book, you're looking at the book and you look at these pictures. And in the book, you think all these feet are pretty much the same, except for the angle of the dorsal wall. No, they're different lengths from here to here. If you make it a different length, you're going to make it seem like what you're saying is the truth, that heel height is not a deciding factor in the angle of the dorsal wall. Say, don't believe it when people just show you pictures and tell you a hoof is a certain way. There's a lot of them that do that. Just draw a bunch of pictures and say, see, there's somebody right now out there. You're going to see this stuff. There's somebody out there right now, and they're drawing pictures of feet, and they're saying that hoof distortion is solely caused by deformed limbs. Okay? That's not true. Hoof distortion will cause deformed limbs, and hoof distortion is caused by the way these people are trimming and teaching us to trim. See, everybody out there and their dog money wants to have an online class, wants to charge you for webinars. You know, now look at this. Just a minute here. Oh, I guess I got it on there.
Who?
Okay, this.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't on mute.
That's okay.
Can you tell him in the barn?
It's kind of echoey in there. Okay, so Jamie Jackson, in 1977, somebody gave him a book by a guy named Leslie Emery. Okay, he read this book. This is a picture in Leslie Emery's book over here on the left. Okay, Leslie Emery wrote a book, and he was advancing heel height for the cure of navicular and other things. He's got a chapter in that book on the false doctrine of frog pressure. And so Jackson in 77, he read the book, and then he developed a friendship with Leslie Emery. And he winds up, they talked on the phone all the time. He winds up moving from Arkansas out to California to shoe horses with Leslie Emery. Well, they would talk a lot about, in the book, Leslie Emery talked about wild horses and how more stuff. They decide that Jamie is going to go and out there to Litchfield, well, out there to the Great Basin, and look at these wild horse feet and get together and finally get together with BLM at the Litchfield Corral to get a closer look. And the deal is that as soon as Jamie sees those feet, Leslie wants to know what their heels are like, okay? Because what he's promoting in this book of since the 1700s, how Philip Lafosse in France came up with this deal on how horses should walk on their frogs, and they've been lowering heels ever since, which and harms, does serious torture and harm to horses. And so, but because they put it in the vet schools, well, that's like pulling teeth to get them to ever rethink a dang thing, you know. Well, I think maybe it might have been, except the Cowboys always had bare horse feet and stuff like that. But now I'm starting to understand that the farriers that I knew were good would take less heel, more toe, because they had read Leslie Emery's book. So Leslie Emery's book got real popular. So Jamie goes to Litchfield Corrals, and he takes a picture of those feet that I showed you. Just a minute. And when he gets it, and of course at great peril, right, to his life. And so he, as soon as he gets out of those corrals, he calls Leslie Emery. And Leslie Emery asked him how the heels were, and he said, they have no heel. And Leslie Emery says, how can they have no heel? Or no, he said, well, what about the angle of the dorsal wall? What about that? Oh, well, from what I can tell, it's steep. Well, how can that be steep when they have no heel? Well, I don't know, but they're flat as a pancake. I'm going to have to figure that out. Well, he did figure it out, but his figuring was wrong, you know? And so Leslie Emery's book was wrong. And so when he writes his book over here, he uses pictures from Leslie Emery's book to say that Leslie Emery's book is wrong and horses should be down on their bulbs like that with no heel. See, here's the thing. If that guy never would have gone to California or wherever it was, I don't know if Emery lived in Northern California or where he lived, but anyway, if he wouldn't have gone there and Emery's book would have kept going, you and I would not be here today. You and I would have always had good feet on our horse because his book was getting so popular. Just a second. Emery, that Leslie's wrong. And Leslie quit his research. And he quit doing it like this. I mean, he started trying to make his feet like this. Come up with the right idea that these horses have no heel. And so then James, he shows here is what's right. And what's over here. I called this guy. I talked to him on the phone. You know, that's healthcare crap. Just a minute. I am getting horrible congested. And when I say crap, I mean based on faulty research. Faulty research. Wild horses have heels. The only time they don't is if they wore them out. That's it. And we should not be trying that. They have been putting in our heads. So, anyway. Hold on. So, okay, so here's funny. This is hilarious. So Jamie Jackson says that a regular farrier's pasture gauge is not going to work. So he invents his hoof meter reader. I got to move some stuff. His hoof meter reader, which is, I don't know if you can see it. I wish I had a full picture of it. It's a little paper thing that you put up next to a horse's hoofs. Well, now he's selling this thing here. This is a hoof stand, and you can buy this little thing here that you can put your horse's foot up on, and then you take this little paper thing there and you put it up against there so that you can read the angle of your horse's dorsal wall. So I don't know, is that easier, or is that easier? You tell me. What's going to be easier? You're going to be easier to get this on your horse's foot, or to get him to put his foot on a table so you can get your eyeballs up there real close to his foot and put your little hoof meter reader up there and read it. Do you see? Okay. Do I sound irritated? Well, it would be because I am. Because if you think I like sitting here for however many hours a bee was a freaking old lady with a sound horse, that some farrier could come trim for me every 6 weeks, and instead I have to put up and do this baloney, because I'm sure every single one of you would and know that he was in good hands. See, instead of putting up with all this crap to where we got to do all this research and try and save our horses from this baloney that these people have been putting us through, because they've been deceived. And I don't mind people being deceived. People can make wrong conclusions. What I'm not appreciating is, where are the 1,000 feet that prove this theory? That's the thing I'm upset about. Okay. Anyway, so I are here today because of the claims of this person. And not just this person, it's the history of hoof care. If there hadn't been a big old giant hole, in no room for somebody to come in, get the wrong impression of a wild horse's foot by just looking at the bottom of it, and then being able to write a book that we all just salivate over and fall for. Gullible us, see? Okay, anyway. So that's why we're here. People do have anything we all do has a direct effect on other people and their lives. So, okay, so hold on here and I'll finish this up. Maybe. Okay. I get to talking about this, people don't want to hear it. But I'm telling you, you got to know what you believe when it comes to anything about your own health or the health of others. Just a minute here. I got to do a new share. Okay, let's go back to here for a minute. So there's a big difference whether your horse has heel, whether a wild horse is supposed to have heel, and it's a front foot or a back foot, or it's worn its heel down. That doesn't mean you purposely wear your heel down to purposely deform and mutilate the inside of your horse's foot. Because the foot is not going to function right if you ain't got those heels right. Now, I have pictures and video of a guy in Greece, George Malkos, who had a mare that her coffin bone got in an accident and got cut off on a rear foot. He was able to grow a whole hoof capsule back and a full frog, and that horse runs all over the place. This is how important the back of that foot is. I mean, we saw on that horse how immense that frog was. Just a minute here. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is the difference between what Jackson claimed a horse's wild horse foot all of them look like, with a bulb clear down here on the ground, And what Gene, like, this is not a very good wild foot, but look, the hairline is not on the ground. And I would ask you the question, in anatomy, does an inch or two make a difference? You know, does an inch or two, let me tell you what, a micromillisecond measurement makes a difference when it comes to anatomy, makes a difference sometimes between life and death, between being sound and unsound, sick or well. See, so we're talking about our horse's foot and 2 inches back here behind his foot, an inch to 2 inches. Okay, so you rob him of that. You force the cartilage and the bulbs and the whole foot into a smaller container. What's that going to do? Just a second here. Okay, so I'll show you something. So this is the picture as it looks in the book. He said the number 2 is literally pasted on the foot itself. Notice how grainy the picture is? So I put it through some purification processes. I'm not technically savvy. So whatever it is, when you go through these different programs, it straightens out the pixels and makes the foot clearer. And so as I take it through, okay, I notice that now it doesn't look like it's pasted to the foot at all. It looks like it's pasted to the photo. Now, maybe not. I could be wrong. Okay, but it sure doesn't look like that one that was pasted on Gene Ovanic's deal where the kind of the edges come up and stuff like that, right? Yeah, with each successive clarification of the photo, this little circle here got a little different, got a little clearer, got a little flatter, to where finally it looked to me, it looked like it was just like, you buy those little round stickers and you write them like at a garage sale and you just paste it on there, see? But see, maybe this was foot number 1. Maybe this was the only foot. After all, it was taken at great peril to his life. So just saying it did. Just saying that it's awful mighty questionable. So, many of the pictures in the book, but it rang. I wonder if this the same horse. See how there's multicolored under the belly here? You got white and you got dark color here. At great peril to his life. See, I've been around a lot of people. I've worked on ranches. I've been around when horses have been roped on cattle. Okay, stressful and it can be dangerous because I'll tell you what. A lot of times my husband rope a cow and jerk it down, and then I had to go over there and give it a shot or something like that, or do something, or put the rope on different feet and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, it can be dangerous. It's like that. Getting in that corral with these kind of horses and having to get up there, and them horses, they just don't lay there. They're kicking, they're struggling. Well, heck, they're cutting their cahoonies off in some of them, you know, and they don't give them they don't knock them out. Okay, not back then. They didn't, maybe they gave them some painkiller. I don't know, but back in a lot of times they didn't use anesthesia and stuff like they do now. They just string them out, cut them, let them get up and go. So, maybe they did, the vets did here, but I don't know. But I know that it can be a dangerous situation. I can understand why somebody, especially like that, would think it was great peril to their. So, anyway, that's the history of that as I know it, and why we're here today. Why we're here today. All right. So we're going to write all this down and put it in a book, probably not in this order. So people can see that maybe, hold on there, lost contact, that maybe this foot here is not the right way to go for their horse. You put this foot on a horse purposely, as far as I'm concerned, it's a form of abuse and torture. You know, so I abused and tortured my horse doing this trim, forcing him to have no heels. Let me tell you what, the first time I trimmed his heels, I went back out to the pasture the next day, his right hind foot. And I couldn't ride him or do anything with him for 6 months. I took him to the vet. They say, you're going to have to keep him cooped up for 6 months. Well, guess what? I had 2 horses and one little contained was I got some panels and I set him up in half of my garage. Don't think that wasn't a mess to try and keep that, you know, keep him for 6 months. So this, doing this to your horse, trimming his heels out like that is harmful, you know. And I've proven here examples. I can show you 1,000 horses' feet of these horses that have heel and have big cartilages back here. You see that? Not rounded off like this. The back of their foot. Do you see that? That is what your horse really has. Not this number here where it's all pulled down like that. I'll show you a picture of my horse's foot from a couple looking like that. Just a second here. Do, 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 do. And I have easy 100,000 photos of one horse. Because at every trim for the last 18 years, before, during, after, like I just don't go up there and take 4 pictures of one foot, you know, sole. Well, you'd take 5, right? Take the front, lateral, medial, back, then looking down at the heels, and then the sole. So that'd be 6. Multiple. I'll take easy 150 photos at each before trim, even, you know, because I got to have 3 or 4 of each side, stuff like that, all different angles. So let's see here. New share. Okay, so this is my horse's foot in 2014. 3-degree hairline I kept trying to get. He kept making his own heels, though. This is when I gave up. See, started in 2005. Gave up in 2014. Said, this just ain't working. I don't know what to do. I'm like everybody else. Okay, and so gave up. Did not trim hardly at all for a year. You come back in a year. Now, he's right outside here. But all I would do is just trim off the edges. I never mapped. I never took pictures. Hold on. I never took, and he hadn't been trimmed in a month or 2 here. And I thought, I'm going to sell this horse so he can be useful to somebody. And so I got him in to take pictures of him. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll take pictures of his feet. I was mortified. At this, at the way the heels were run forward and everything else, and the way the toe flared. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that when you are trimming your horse's foot to look like this, the internal anatomy is deforming and distorting, and what you trims up every 2 to 3 weeks. Because if you let it grow at all, it turns into this right here. We saw a picture earlier of a wild horse foot, and his foot was almost perfect still. That is because when the foot is in its true shape, it will self-trim really pretty darn good. Okay? So if you let this thing here grow, this is what you get, because this is what you really got. This is what it really is. Because when you trim the heels out, it crushes pulls the coronary band down and around so that all this must grow. What are you whining about? Is something out there? Something out there killing something? I got chickens out here. I got a dog having a fit looking out the window. So now I'm going to look out there. I don't see anything. You're lying to me. No, he's probably not. Go out there, find a dead rooster. So this here is that there. That's the reality. Okay, so in 2015, I saw that and I went, oh my God, well, if I'm going to get anybody to buy this horse, I'm going to have to straighten his feet out. So I started trying to correct this. Well, then in 2016, while doing an illustration of every single part of the hoof wall, I got to the back here, and I learned we had been taught to trim what is called the heel buttress out of our feet. And that you would have to have heel buttress to have soul. And so then I started restoring the foot. And so when was this? Well, this here was in, I guess this one was 23. This one was 22. And trying to understand, what is a real foot? What is it supposed to be? Well, today we saw what the real foot is. I haven't got that yet. My frog is still under the foot, not behind the foot, where those pictures we saw show. Maybe it'll never be in the perfect spot, but here's what I know. These feet want to be where they're supposed to be. And so the more I work with the frog and the heels, I watched that frog literally pull back more and more and more. I've watched, see, that's why we started this, because I was looking at Marilyn's horse at the frog and telling her how your frog, when you trim the heels out of these horses, this frog is back up here. When you trim the heels out, all this gets pulled down. What are you seeing out there? She's this dog is having a fit. Just a minute. Dog's going crazy. The frog will bite your foot. I apologize. The frog will bind that foot because the center, all these different parts in the back of the foot can get wrapped around, they can get pulled under, they can get pulled down, they can get pushed over. because the only thing that stabilizes the back of that foot is when the frog and the heel buttresses are in the proper place. So there's a lot of us that have been going through this journey, and as we endeavor to grow what we just thought was heel buttress, come to find out, we found out the whole back of the foot was bound up in a smaller capsule, and that we had to expand and grow the whole capsule back to release that whole foot. Let's see. Okay, so we're just going to take another quick look at this. Okay, so this is the difference again. This is more the true form of the foot. Right here, they do have a lot of heel. And to some people, that looks like a club foot, but it's not. Then this here with this 30-degree hairline. And again, what does it do? It deforms the external and internal foot so that your foot will not function properly. Because how your foot is supposed to function is this. Here's your pastern. Right here. Here's your short pastern bone. Here's the long pastern bone up here. So the pastern descends. This bone descends down like this, and it presses into the fat of the digital cushion. And then the pastern, this part here, goes between the bulbs, and all of this descends down onto this fat of the digital cushion, which instantly offers resistance. And then the digital cushion presses down onto the frog stay, which, notice the arch. See, arches don't give very easily. And that frog stay is built to kind of spread apart and lower a little bit, but at the same time, this is pushing down, this is pushing up, and as all this is going on at the same time, this deep digital flexor tendon here is giving a tremendous pull. And so all these things and a few more are working together to be the suspension of how this foot works. So then that's where your horse gets the true spring in their step. And without it, they're not going to have a lot of spring. Like, have you ever, I remember my dad used to talk about this one horse. He said, that horse, it's like he has three wooden legs and one stiff one. Because that horse, you would just jar you with every step. Well, now I think it's probably because he had super flat feet with without the right configuration to the back of his foot. I think he was platter footed, as they called it. Now, let's look at this one. What happens here? The pastern bone here descends down onto the digital and nothing did or said. They're drugs. So what does no flexion works to slack that they important digital base so that it have to work. Now, again, this is the book that buddy to their horse that he's Nate True. You're told that is the nature of your horse, and you want things horse image head, then that's what you try and see even if it say still and this horse foot itself. So you're told you're gonna make to form. Well, this is what's inside. Your function most of the right here. Now this that they offered Hoof Jack. Well then and they're dumped on money man. Okay, realize some people saw monoperty. See, unfortunately, their monetary opportunity had caught other lot, and so then things didn't. It's so we're on around it, all the herb and supplements and soaking our hay and the horse. So not only have you taken his feet away from him, which makes him what it is, you've taken away probably the next most important thing to a horse. What's that? Well, what he eats. See? Oh, oh, that's pretty terrible. On my dead. So look, this is the look at her, the big and and then the rest is whale is your and with your connection and now that's so share one more off this box. See a foot in it for a time. This dilemma. So he did not work case. I'll show you what the in for the to show your and shoot three softball for make you what would do to you. Huh? So we're gonna foot. Okay, so this foot perfect so by means, but not heels. I would train no horse. See one foot general guides, general where the bars should be growing you know, the boundary to the different, so the so you know, I measured all these. Look at this. Now you can see her here heels a little like when you the capsules off these horses, there's no support back of the foot, just kind of move around. And so you can see right here at her heel, the heel to the hairline is one and well, at least 1 1/8 inch, 2/8 inch right there. Now I taught to trim heels. This is how I harmed my, and I was Sheridan, BC, that the natural height. Beware. Anybody tells you that hang on the is a constant. You know what it is? Oh, it's way all the time and use a gut. Oh, angle cash. Okay, be deformed. So she used the and a 1 1/8 she turned heel height. And it because you trim this out, then it was opal. You lower the parallel flat, the horse walk on it, and he make by putting the cap up in a stand, and then it loose more purple, and you come out and you lower heel in. You just trim completely the horse by that. Show you. Look at here's 1 1/8 inch. Don't you might walk underneath her. So how is it can get that without running into blood? Because you're gradually trimming them out, and as you grab trimming, it pulls the back of the foot down and it pushes the literal physical heel up into the. That is the only reason you do not run into. And there's a gal. She does dissection, and this 1 foot. Okay, Lindsay Filch does the study of the foot. So she has 1 foot, and everybody, all these trimmers were telling her, take the heels down, take the heels down. So she takes the heels down and she ran into Soul Corium right there. She couldn't understand she ran into Soul Corium. Well, then the trimmers told her, oh, you should have just taken the heels down gradually. Well, I could take the heels down gradually on a cadaver. You know, live horse, what'll happen is you take them down gradually, and this heel here will crush and flatten up into foot so that you can keep taking it down as you're pulling the bulbs down to the ground so that you don't cut in corium, but you are crushing the inner heel. So you can eventually get a next to no heel, but it's because you have altered the shape foot internally, the way you trim, just as that's down. Okay, so this is a good, you know, there were no rotation in the cell. This is for foot. Now, just think it had heel. But that's not the real. Now, this foot is that belonged to a person who was a professional barefoot natural hoof care provider. This person, Hildred Strasser, now Dr. Hildred Strasser and Jamie Jackson are joined at the hip in the natural care movement. Oh, because of course it's a vet to his research because every trim. So ground parallel coffin bone, they call it. Horses don't thicker under the coffin bone, elevated positive angle in the foot. So this horse trimmed for good 16 years, bare and carved, and down it is up. So what? There's this flap here. Say do on trim, you just can take that off. That's how. Okay, he had well. It's not but here. So it's per feet to die, and okay, just a minute. See how the bulbs are pulled down to the ground here. Now you're going to see what happens to the heels. First of all, look, divot toe, swollen. Now this is what happens. This horse would have constant inflammation. It inner foot. This is to show you foot compare. Let's see. Oh, wait, wait. Get you a good picture of it here. Okay. This foot is not deformed. Had a hoof capsule fit. Size to fit. Barefoot. Does that look right to you? Now, look how the bulbs cartilage are pulled down to the ground. This is what into your foot when you're doing this. Now, the bulbs are below actual. That not a. So you pull this and it goes up. It creates you Alan, the foot is deformed. Not anything. It's formed, but gets above actual literal. Well, it's not like that. Just a minute here. And just feet on top. Let's see, that'd be July. Okay, you see the difference. Remember, this is your foot, okay? Imagine this is foot is be like foot has into a shoe, grease to and glued to your foot, and you sit down. Okay, places here. Look where the bulb, this foot. Now look at this one. Look at how hip was still as you pull the bulb's foot bends and the heel gets shoved upward while all the cartilage, everything gets pulled down. Look how full that looks. Doesn't it look nice out? And the capsule snip to a smaller face, and the back of the foot starts to bulge like this. That they are developing the digital that they teach. And it's bulging out the back. That is what is truly, truly happening. And you know what? They can make the hoof capsule look really snazzy because you can become artistic in this. But what they're actually doing is jamming this into a small capsule. And in the end, the horse will pay. Now, this horse was put down. The vet said he had shredded, tendon was basically shredded. Because remember, I told you, when you take digital in the whole suspension system, it's jobs. You ever worked with people that didn't make, and how you had to work harder, and then, it's hard on you when other people don't pull their weight. Well, it's the same way with the body. If one area is not working correctly, other parts try to take up work harder. The knees get more impact. They work right. So the horse starts getting different problems, see? Okay. So there would be a horse that had a good fit in a capsule, wasn't, at least it's not deforming the inner. There you go. There's your imbalance. How do you correct that? This foot here, his foot is, these horses are easy. You still, live is still gone totally shot at this. I have on my horse, yep. Just here's what happens too. So barefoot trim these horses. Now it's so that these horses that they barefoot trim for you, they never treat it. And so then they do a dissection and they'll look at a deformed foot and they think that's the true foot. That's even supposed to look like this horse. You can see the heels are down. First the frog down on the ground, frog pressure right here. Supposed to be up here. See that capsule and that frog stay. Those heel buttresses, they support this foot up to here. Okay. Well, again, only 1/3 of your foot is cartilage and fat, and without this, it is not supported correctly. So you can see these two different dissections. This one there took out everything but the coffin bone. And you can see all this covered with skin. This is skin. This is the same kind of skin up here, just a little different kind in that it grows instead of hair. See, now look at this foot. Again, they did trim this foot to look like that one dead wild horse foot. This is the form it took on. I didn't kill the horse, but I didn't do him no good while he's alive. You know, belonged to a lady. I was trimming that horse. I was, like they said, okay, pulled them to the ground, hold the frog lower than the heel. If the coronary band is this shape and the wall grows from the coronary band, then right here at nubbin, see the nubbin where the heel buttress grows? Originally, when I started trimming this horse, it was up here. I know that now, I didn't at the time. So the heel buttress now is growing like this. That's not exactly the way it's supposed to be. See? It's supposed to be like this. That's not a very good rendition. Never mind. Okay, well, anyway. Okay, well, anyway, that's about all I had to share, Matt. Okay, I'll tell you this. Cartilage here is thicker under the back of the coffin bone. Right there. That's, see, they got this argument going. They say this coffin bone's to be ground parallel. No, the coffin bone sets in the foot at an angle, the itself sets flat. All kinds of different details. All right, let's share. Now I lost everybody because I shared too long on this stuff, I guess.
I'm still here.
You gonna be complaining about Jamie Jackson again? I'm
I have a question.
still here.
Is Jamie Jackson still alive?
Yeah.
Is he still like,
Yeah,
is he still writing or?
Oh yeah, right now he's over in England, doing
Okay.
clinics, Paddock Paradise, that didn't work in
Okay.
Arkansas, because we wanted to go visit it, and it's closed. So, because you trim the heels out of all the horses, and this is why the low heel, big fat frog for no heel. So then found a horse that had no heels for an example, fills out all these horses. Well, then when horse doing well, my God. So we go from, I saw it progress. We went from pay a bunch of money to take a clinic to learn to train your own, to have them train you, to because it's the whole obvious style for your horse isn't right, or he'd be sound with our trim. So now you got to learn about diet, got to learn about all muscles and system, right? If you have the land and you can do it, you know, any kind of enhancement of environment for your horse is a wonderful thing. But see, they started blaming the reason your horse transit lifestyle enough for your horse. So you develop a track system. Like got this one friend down there in Arizona, and that guy that trimmed her horses talked her into dumping tons and tons and tons of chat all over her property, saying that, oh, her horse wasn't getting enough abrasive.
It's just all those horses are lame. They have to
meanwhile,
get them because
yeah,
people can't ride them.
are not riding their horses over this trim, you know, trying to get good feet. And so meanwhile, while he figured it, he went and had him haul. Well, any horse was going to see sound on sand. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sand, or no, a bread. That is what it is. So she wound up spreading crushed ground, and so then she had a hard time. It's all one big, it all racket, to get your money going.
Linda, can I
Sure.
something about that? So David, he also introduced me to the chatting and stuff like that. But again, it's like common
Yeah.
sense, right? I mean, you think about it, like horses in the wild, they don't have chat for 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got common sense and this
Yeah.
person or that horses and basically,
Yeah.
make him out to God and be like, oh, I didn't even know anything
Yeah.
about
Well,
horses. When like you just,
I think
so
people do, but there are so when you have and you see he's saying the same thing. It's very easy to. So I don't think track system or nothing like that. But I did trim from 2014, so a good 7 years. Because that was head. I can relate to that. That's okay. How it was where the pick that everybody believed. On the one hand, you have what is a mistake. On the other hand, the person you spoke of there, well, that is what he works on, trying to get that one image on all these horses visual. He figured out how to do it, figured out how to mimic the natural wear to get that. If you did it right, you could think, you know what I mean? So it has turned in, not everybody is just greedy of gain, but it has turned in to a real for-profit thing. In my opinion, taking advantage of people in a big way. I mean, that's the whole internet. Anyway, so okay.
Hi,
Well, anyway,
everybody.
yeah, sure,
It's all about money
sure.
because
Yep.
horses from poor people have done feet.
Yeah.
And people or place money, they have sound horses. People who live in small villages, people who breed not sound. Most of, not all, most of them are sound. People places and they don't have the means to get very fancy vet and farrier services. They have decent feet to their horses. Look, people who work with horses into the deserts, they have decent feet, decent hoof. They have decent hoofs. How it is possible?
Okay.
If the more money you have to spend on your horses,
the worst situation that's a whole, so
I know. And you never have.
all this was out of necessity, and
See,
stuff. But anyway,
some videos from remote villages in China, and we have talked about, and they have they have horses with where people spend for to be athletic horses with athletic kids. They have no hoofs ever at all.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
It's not only farriers or vets. It's what you said about giving to. It's a whole industry of things that you can put on your horses, liquids of only the oils that the wall protection off by, and then they begin to gain the hemorrhoid.
It's like being a mechanic on purpose. I'm not on people mechanic who swear you and charge you a bunch of money. It's the effect that it winds up have to go to, and as horse owners, high school business, you're being sold a but what they
is common sense working.
Common sense is horse sense. Everybody should just, when there were know something about horses, because now that doesn't something that we they farrier see when it went to trying to becomes common, because common sense is truth, something actually no lives, and we've learned we're horses everybody knew. People don't know. I don't
common sense.
It can be for any subject. You see what I'm saying?
Because you can see today, children are not common sense.
around
from their
anything.
family, I mean,
Yeah, they don't get to learn anything. They don't get to be around it, the subject.
unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. And so we all lack common sense
Anyway,
in
we
different
had
areas,
a great lesson tonight.
Well,
And personally, I thank you once more a
well,
lot.
I'm sorry to have to give this kind of lesson, you know, you know, and
Yeah.
stuff. I just want a horse with good feet. I wasn't too much to ask. I guess it was. So,
Well,
oh,
we'll arrive
here you
sometime to
go.
a point that we will be
Yeah,
happy about it.
heel. There's your horse's heel. Guess what that's made out of? Cartilage. And that, yeah,
Yes, it
there's
is.
his heel. That's why it needs that capsule to stabilize it and keep it and support it into place. This here can be turned in just like that. See, just like that. Why do I have to show that out all on my own to understand? I'm not proud of that. I didn't want to do that. Schools doing this stuff. I'll tell you why. Because they already think they know it all. See, they never look at the back of this foot. It's always at an x-ray at a coffin bone, So the next time you go to the back of the foot, okay, while they're all looking at that bone, you know. So anyway, leave you with that this part of the foot, 2/3 of the foot is soft cartilage and fat covered with skin and restore to our horse's feet. Okay. Well, I guess we're done. Who's still here? Everybody just loves these marathon hoof chats.
I'm still here.
Yeah, you
Are
did
you
good.
still
You did
here?
good one.
We are,
Yes,
I'm
we
still
are.
here.
most of us will are here. Don't worry.
Well, I wanted Leah. We
I,
can get
I just wanted to see but we can see that another day.
well,
It's
I'm very
okay.
sorry.
No, which was really interesting. I love the whole tour.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is, this has really been on my heart learning all this stuff.
It's so important that you
If I
actually
may,
did.
Leah,
for
if
all
I
of us
may
and
say
for
something about the
Yeah.
cracks,
yes.
do not worry about it. Be 14, and my cracks followed me until now. You know why? Because after all this got to the right place, I don't know, something like 2 months ago. You have 2 days, and then you'll see that all these cracks will
That's
disappear.
true.
That will disappear. The last negative thing
Yeah, but I have
that will
I have a
disappear.
doubt. Do those cracks hurt the horse on the capsule or not?
No, not
Even
at all.
even if the crack goes right up to the coronary band.
I've got one that goes
I
all the
had
way up.
one. Now it
No.
is descending.
One in the front of the foot that's been there forever because when you lower the heels and all the horn tubules press forward, they get to a place where it goes. The one in front of it says, "I'm not going nowhere," and so he says, "Well, I'll just push around you then," and that's where it cracks. Where's your crack
Yeah,
at?
I have one on the front and one on the side on the same
Okay,
hoof.
so
But
a
we can
pillar,
we can see.
a pillar, and
No. On the side, it's right next to the heel.
okay,
And it's that goes right up to the coronary band. And the one in the front of the hoof, it's not exactly on the center in the front; it's a bit on the opposite.
okay,
And it goes right
Okay.
into the middle of the hoof. And
Yep.
every time the hoof grows, the capsule grows. I think, okay, I'm going to get rid of it, and
Yeah.
then it tears right up again. So I try to mark, with a knife in the middle of the hoof so that to stop it from if that's hurting her. If she's feeling any pain because
Is
the
she
capsule
limping?
is no
I
no
did-
no, but she's not she doesn't really want to move forward very much, and I don't know if it's because of her hooves
Okay.
or other
Well,
issues that she
Why
has.
don't we look at it? What time is it where you're at?
Well, if I didn't want to, make this longer there for everybody else.
People
but
could
I
leave
sent it to you
anytime
on the
you want.
messenger. Okay, well, for me it's okay. I sent you the photos on
Okay.
the messenger because I don't have
Okay, let's
as many photos
let's
as I
look.
would want to.
I don't mind. I'm here.
Okay, well, it's on the messenger I sent you.
Okay, let's
The
see.
front crack thing is that I didn't take perfect pictures of it, so let's see what you can see from the pictures I sent you.
Ah. Oh, righty. Okay. It's wanting to load. I hate Messenger. Alrighty. Okay, well, okay, I see the one on the front. It's on the front right foot.
Yes. You're not showing
Okay.
the
Yeah,
picture.
okay.
So I don't know what you're looking at.
There we go.
Yes, there, that crack.
Okay.
Yes, on the right hand.
That's not real bad. That shouldn't bother too much. Let me save it though and enlarge it.
I'll take better pictures next time, but I wasn't expecting the hoof chat to be at the time a time that I could see it, so I didn't come prepared.
Okay. Now I want to look at the rest of the pictures. So let me see here.
Then you can see the one on the side too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's the one on the side. See, it goes right up to the
That's a quarter crack, and the reason for that is all the pressure coming from the back, because see, the back of your foot is still pulled down, and then under, we're gonna look at.
And there's a little tiny crack there on the bottom.
Yeah. You see how I was showing how when the coronary band is like this, like you have like horn tubules that are growing this way, and they kind of like it wants to crack right there, kind of. Yeah, and stuff. That's just because you know how Angeliki was saying that if the back of the foot, when the back of the foot gets right, then as this rises and releases, all these get straighter and move back, and so that they're in alignment. Because when the back of the foot is lower, then they are all growing more forward, and they're like dominoes. They shove forward into the ones in front of them. And so this has got to right here. And this one said, I'm not moving. Yeah. And so it just kind of pushed past it.
Yeah. No, I have to go in the other direction. Those are the most recent photos.
Okay.
And then this is a trim that I did before, so because I didn't have any photos of under 2 months before the last pictures that you've seen, so you can see what it looks like on the underside.
Okay. One thing that I would say is I would start getting back more on your apex, your frog, because what I know is that these bulbs are pulled in and bound in here, and that frog's just holding them. So I would take down the tip of that, and I would trim it back as far as I could.
Yes.
Because that has to release for these bulbs to let loose. You can see by the red and different things that they're being pulled down. Like, see how that is right there? That is pulled down. Like this all needs to come back this way. And you could see this pillar looks a little bit high, like you're leaving this corner a little high here because your toe shape is too round. So if you were to just rasp this a little flatter, right in here, it would change the shape of the toe, probably on both sides. Okay, so that these horn tubules would be in a better position for all this to move back. Now, but again, get in the shape of your toe by rasping this down to where you kind of see it look more oval than round. Okay, and don't be afraid to use the sole as a way to determine how you're trimming, because as you rasp this down, you're going to hit the sole. Don't be afraid to hit the sole. Look how you hit it over here. See, let me save that image and enlarge it. Just a second here. Okay, so if we look at this, you can see you barely hit the sole right there. See that?
Yes.
And see how your white line is a little cleaner?
Yes.
Okay, so if you came from, like, say right here over into here, like, you may have a tendency to leave this side a little high because let's see, which side are you at? Well, maybe not. I don't know. But I would use the sole as your guide. Okay, like you will notice that as you rasp on it, you will see the ridge start to appear here, like it did right there. See that little ridge?
Yes.
Okay. So use this as your guide to try and get symmetrical with that, because your foot is pretty, it looks pretty same-sided, pretty symmetrical. you know?
Yeah.
And so you can use the sole as a guide.
The capsule is
And
twisted though, huh? Because it's turned in. She's towed in. As you can see, this is her left foot, and the medial side, it's twisted towards the medial side.
Yeah.
So I'm holding it in that
Okay.
way, so that it doesn't look twisted, but it is.
That's okay.
twisted.
But if you start taking this, let's look at the front. We'll look at the front view. But if you start using the sole as a guide, okay, like if let's say if you hit the sole right here and you see that wide a ledge, like
Yes.
here, just a minute. Let me get pin. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's say you've just taken the wall down like this. Now right here you have that much where you've hit the sole ledge. See it? Okay, but you haven't over here. But let's say if you just made that the same, if you kept taking that down, you would make a same type of ledge right here. See?
Yes.
You can use this sole. It's okay to rest down on this sole. See, like let's say
I'm a bit afraid because once I did too much and she couldn't walk.
Sore?
So,
okay.
yeah.
Let's say you just did this much, just as much as you got right here. Okay, that's not going to hurt her at all.
Okay.
And that's going to help you get more consistent and get a cleaner white line. Okay, but it's this. Just a minute here. This is what you got to get down here. Get this trimmed out in here, and get this apex. You really have to get that back, otherwise it will hold on right here. And as the bulbs are trying to stretch back, it's just going to hold them right there. And so the most important part here, you want to clean up along the edges. See, you do a better job cleaning this side of the foot up than you do this side.
Yes, probably because the angle of the blast and the knife and everything.
I know exactly what you mean, And so you can look at these pictures and then you can purposely try and figure out how you're going to do this other side over here so that you can be more symmetrical, so that you can be more even, because you'll wind up leaving this side high. Like, so let's go look. And since the sole is a bowl like that, okay, you like this, let's just say it's like this, okay, you can use it to determine how you're trimming. See, because like if I just trim to the wall height right there, this is how much sole I got. Yes. Can you see that? And so if I trim more, then I'm going to have a little ledge right here. See there? Because it dips down. Hold on here. Yeah, I'm so congested.
And Linda, I think you should rest a bit. We can see this.
I'm fine. Yes. I just need to blow my nose. So if you'll excuse me for just one. Okay, I'm better. Oh my God. My body is falling apart, I swear. It's like, okay, well, that tendon in my shoulder just decided to snap. All right, whatever. All right, let's keep going. Oh my God, I hate getting old. Let's see. Let me clear that off. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go back to here. I want to look at a front of that. We're going to look at what would it be? The inside pillar. Is that the left front?
Yeah, that's the left.
Okay. Okay, so there's the left front. Aha. Let's see. Now, see, we're here. We're going to, I did copy that already. I just got to find it and then switch over. We're going to look at that. Let's see. New share. Okay. Okay, so see how you're leaving that long? See how you're jammed up on that side? Do you see that?
But that's the side that was the that's the other side. The side that I'm leaving long is the medial side.
Okay.
Not the lateral side.
Well, you're leaving both sides long. Okay. And this side is tipping your foot up high in this direction. You see that? Okay.
Yeah.
See, look, this side goes up like that, and so does this side. All right. You see, this hairline is supposed to go like that and be dipping. So you're leaving both sides kind of high. This
Yeah.
side is higher and it's tipping the foot over. Well, it'd be tipping the foot over back on that inside heel. See? And stuff.
Yes.
And you can see the growth rings go like this on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to take down these pillars, like I was saying when we
Yes.
were looking at the bottom of the foot. This high part's going to have to drop down. See, gradually, because it's taken me a long time, to get any, and so you can come in down and bevel it a little. Use that sole as a guide to these growth rings dropping down to where they'd be more like this, which is in the front. I'm getting pretty good at this toe stuff. But continually watch. Like, I might be doing a good job tangent. Next thing I know, I got the same, jamming going up.
Yes.
This. See, because it's creating an
Leah,
imbalance.
you are going to be, because your hoofs will change worse and then better, and then worse and then better.
Yeah.
Going to get crazy about it. You go one day and you see hoof change a lot, and you say, oh, after 2 days you are facing a total. You have to insist, knowing the shape that your hoof should have.
Yes.
And stick to it, and then try hoof, and then slowly you'll see within the hoof.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very ugly stages we go through, especially heavy problems for a long time. And then all of a sudden you will see another situation, shape of the inner foot, and try to do it on the outer
that's what I'm trying.
capsule.
These cracks suddenly came and they're not leaving because
I will send to Linda one of my hoof. You don't have cracks yet. You will get cracks. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, you will get cracks and stuff. Trying to enlarge the capsule, and I've got like big crack in the toe quarter that's been there for years. That's all the way through to the sole. But I know that, like, it would open real wide at the bottom if I didn't trim for a while. But getting better. But see, this toe, just a minute here. Oh, hold on. Toe of the front of the foot. Front of a foot.
It's very, very difficult for me. It's been taken, unbind the back of the hoof and make it bigger, because I don't know. It seems as if it's taking forever.
The frog is holding you there. I can guarantee you. I've been doing this since 2016. Okay. And but see, at first I just thought, okay, it's the heel, foot was bound. Well, then I found out the foot was bound. Well, okay, unbinding it. Well, then I found out, the got rid of that. Oh, well, then find out the heels are curled in literally, and I ain't even got the real heel buttress or the real sole in the heel. Okay, what do we do there? Oh, well, the bulb, now that you've been growing it. Oh, okay, well, let's undo that. See, you know how we looked at the real foot, like, okay, I thought I was close. There was that there was something else going on that I didn't know about. And who's telling me that? Well, the horse, it got really wet after I'd been growing heels, and his bulbs erupted. I thought his heels had ended, and my God, was it ugly? Because that's a pretty tidy little foot they want you to put on these horses, and so when you see something, here, let me share this with you. Okay, so here's my.
Yes.
He said that for a long time because of trimming the heels out, shoved all those horn tubules, and then they couldn't make the turn. Sometimes they'll crack in the middle of the quarter, but just a second, got a cough. Hold on.
Leah, do you have a good connection on your white line?
Yes.
I'm sorry to tell you that you will lose it for a while.
Okay.
about it because it will come back as this kind of changes.
Okay, this
Yes.
was like in April or something like that, but the hairline, see how it descends down? Okay, from the front.
Yes.
You can take pictures like the way I figured this out was I took it from the front to see how it looked, when it was just the foot. And this is how it looked. So then I started, you know, um, and so the first thing I did was I started taking these toe quarters down more. Just a minute here. What happens is then the wall gets long, like so. So then the pressure is to jam upward, and then that road down and out. So instead, the growth stays up here. I just realized that. And it pushes the hairline up like that. See?
Yep.
And it can do that on both sides. Are nice and symmetrical there.
Yes.
Okay. Then you'll see that kind of raise up too, like that. And that's just because you're not getting this part shaped right and low enough.
I think that what I've been doing is I've been rasping from the bottom, rasping from the inside out. I've just been rasping that instead of rasping to the sole.
Yeah.
So I measure in centimeters. So I measure 8 centimeters in the center, and then I measure down 1 centimeter less. So 7 centimeters on the quarter. I try to rasp the whole underside of the, because it's like a bevel. To get to the, and maybe I should be rasping down, until to the.
Well, another thing is, well, see, now you can always read this trimming, is this hoof wall grid where you got your vertical here. So those are always going to tell you the truth of what's really going on. When it comes to the bottom of the foot and the sole, okay, you can either use your rasp, but has different layers. Like I was saying, like let's say this is the sole, okay, and this is the wall here. And so you rasp down to the level of the sole right there. You would see, just take a little bit. Let's say you have this much sole there. The lower you go, the wider this little piece here is going to get. Just a minute. This is going to get right here. See how now I have a flat part there?
Yes.
Might have started up and it was like this. As you
Linda,
go down and get wider.
Linda, all I see is like a red line. Did you do more drawing?
Yeah, I did. Maybe your thing isn't working.
I don't see it either. I don't see any of your
maybe
recent markups.
no, it's maybe you larger. If you
okay, I
close
got
the photo.
Yeah, I had the picture bigger. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because I had it over the
now.
side of the page. And this is your sole. Okay? This right here. Okay, so that's higher wall. If I start bringing, that's to the level. It's right here. Now I have a little ledge on the inside where I can wall together.
Yes.
If I go just a little bit lower, that ledge it's going to get wider yet. So you use the sole as a guide to get that toe. Like go to that sole picture here again, just a minute here. There. Let's go here. Okay, so right now, right? Am I sharing at the right place here?
Yes.
Here. Okay, so let's see. Let me do the annotate. Get that. Where she just barely hit the sole there.
Yes.
See it? Barely touched it right here, but not at all. So this sole is pretty much a one. And all I'm saying is, let's say till I just have this much all the way around there. Not even all the way through the heel or anything, but just down to here. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have that all the way around. About to here is where I'm going to do it. From here around. Now that means I'm rasping. Take a hoof knife in here, mark it here, so you don't really go past much here for now. Leave heel. Okay?
Yes.
And so just kind of trim that out, get the exfoliatable sole out till you get down to lives right there. Or where your is in truth right about here. That's about how wide the sole ridge really is. But it's like a bowl, down in there. It's like, here's the wall, and then take off a little bit here. See? Right there. And you have to remember something. You have to remember that your toad's not this whole side down here, in here, to where it's not round anymore. I mean, the more I look at this, the more I can see how the sides here are high.
Yes.
On both sides. See? And a lot of that is because of that.
Yes.
And so then you wind up not taking enough, which is going to have a detrimental effect as well, to where, here's the thing. If you kind of take that down, change the shape of that toe, and start learning how to get these toe pillars right, then that jamming on the front of his foot is going to go down, hurt him. And that's going to make him more comfortable too, because I want you to look at something here. Just let me get this here. Look like kid's scribble picture here. Let's go back here. Okay, right here. See, you could probably take what's the measurement from the hairline to the ground? Do you know?
Yes. Just where you see that mark on the hairline, it's the blue mark. That is 2 inches from the center, but from there down, it's 7 centimeters. I don't know how many inches that is.
Anybody know? Of her foot to the ground is only
in
2
the center.
inches?
It's no. From the lap 2 inches, but
okay.
The toe.
I'm talking about,
and the core and the pillars are 7
okay,
centimeters. 1 centimeter. The measurements that you say in inches, because
okay,
8
what
centimeters.
Yeah,
is that
that's
7
fine.
centimeters?
Um,
Should it be shorter?
Nope. No, I'm just looking here. Okay, so this size, but I mean
It's the same
from here to
size.
here.
This
It's
foot,
more compact.
it's not. It was more upright than this one.
Yeah, the other one. But
Yes.
I was looking at, worry about that. Okay. I'll tell you, really focus on the frog. That frog
Hey,
has just
on
got
the frog.
this foot in a grip. I feel like this part of the frog really has a foot. Work on the side of the focus on this frog, the front of the frog. Just from what I'm seeing right here, I just feel like it's just like binding that. Who are you yelling
a
at?
horse? Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't on mute.
Sound like me.
I hate that. I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah. If you hear me doing something, it's probably
I'm
because
yelling
of
at
a
a
horse.
dog or something around here. So I know we have to be, we're horse mom. So I'll tell you what, let's meet back next week. I'll do you first thing off the bat. And I would just like you to really work on the apex of this frog. Okay. And just, it doesn't look like that. I just have this feeling that a lot of what's going on here has to do with the front of this frog. Both, if all this foot was pulled into here and then the frog grew and established itself, it's just going to hold the inner foot right there. Move back at all?
Not really.
Okay.
No, I have trimmed it though. I have trimmed it more than what it is there, but I really haven't seen it move very much.
Well, see, now I have seen my frog apex move continually, a fourth of an inch, to where I would go in there and trim it back, and I would find sole underneath it, because as the back of that. God, I'm I don't know what's going on. Burping, coughing. Anyway, on trimming down the frog apex and just sides of your toes, getting those down a little bit.
Okay, great.
And well, is these bulbs here to decide to kind of release and pull back.
Yes, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I do.
See how it's twisted? You can see it in the other hoof, the right one, or the one with the cracks. See, that's from behind. Well, it's a bit dirty though. You can't really see it, but see also that I need to trim the apex there too. Yeah, I'll take better pictures for the next time.
If I may, you do to correct something else, because you have many small things to correct in this hoof.
Yes.
So make a plan into what makes you see the first trim, then think about your bars. Then next trim after will make a very precise, and so small things often
time then.
No, because speaks to you the best result of your trim. and your hoof will tell you.
I'll do that.
And it worked because it's too many Benenitra's hoof who were really in bad shape. Something, the whole situation changes. So I often and wait for the results.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
You're doing fine, and
Yes, I know.
takes time.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you have some retained sole in there. Is that okay? So you have bound hoof, and so all them sole, then they're all compressed. You understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
And so, you know, it thin down that sole a little bit so that foot will expand. It's least on the
Yes,
sides.
I did that
like
too. I
from
did that
here
on an
back.
occasion.
Oh, have you been doing
Yes,
that?
I've been doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, in the medial
Okay.
side, and I've been.
Okay, well, good. Then you're aware you're seeing that, huh? Okay, and a little more there as well. But yeah, like it's like what Angelique said, turn yawn on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But when we look at that foot, we look like at today, at least out to here. Okay, and you can tell by looking at it, by everything is bound up and frozen in here, pushing into that coffin joint, which is causing that toe to rotate downward and dished out a little bit. See?
Yes. Yes.
And so the only thing you can do is thin out that frog in the back and keep growing the heels, okay, so that the back of that foot will expand.
So should I grow the heels longer than 2 inches?
What? Oh gosh. See, it's not that you're growing them more than 2 inches. It's straps. You're literally going to get heel and wall that you never had.
Okay, I understand. Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
because I'll show you what happened to my horse's foot. Okay, stuff that I tore half
Yes.
the
Yes.
cartilage
Yes.
off, right?
I saw that. I saw the pictures.
Well, now
of that.
that's the best heel. Run forward so much on the outside. Okay, and he cracked. I thought he just tore the cartilage. He literally cracked, and whatever it did, supposed to. And so then how curled in the heel was that I had not realized. C is to allow his foot to restore to be what I was showing you earlier today.
Yes.
And so it's that frog. The whole frog is moving back and the heels are coming uncurled as the whole frog moves back into this picture. Okay.
Yes, because my frogs are mini compared to the ones that we saw at the beginning of those wild horses.
Too, you know, okay, so this is interesting, and I didn't really know. You're not sharing the new. Okay, the new second got a cough.
Yes, great.
Here's the old heel buttress right here. Okay, this was the heel buttress, and it would have had a bar of like that.
Incredible.
Now now here's the thing. This heel was curled in. Hold on. Alrighty, I'm back. Okay, so these bulbs were clearing to here. Here, see, we just don't realize how much this thing just curls in. Okay, now I literally didn't heel and rasted over because it was so curled in, and I'm like, what these feet are? See, these bulbs were clear up into here. Okay, you have a false version of the whole foot.
I've used the angle grinder to get that curled under area more sole underneath, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Is that
oh good?
Should I be doing that?
Well,
see, right?
You know, because see, these heels curl sole in the heel is what I found out.
For my guy, it's really great, and so I knew I was making a wall angle grinder on that, but I'm like, this can only be good because it doesn't make sense that the wall should be growing over the sole, underneath the sole, and or over the sole, sorry. And so let me see if I've
okay, I'm gonna go up and look for another pig before the horse got injured. What the heels were looking like. Well, here's one. And see, I need a full thick sole in the heels, curl in, go forward, and you wind up with show you this. Well, no, I got to show you this other.
Linda.
Huh?
I had just like
Same
mine,
thing, huh?
entirely false. Everything was false.
Yeah.
I just sent you a picture of the heel that I use shaving horse bedding.
Let me go
I didn't
there.
clean it off really well. But now I'm the one that had the bar that my horse didn't have a bar. I'm like, where the hell's my horse's bar? Do you remember that?
Yes.
A bar. Yes.
You sent me
You can see the angle of where I removed the wall that was curled over.
They say, oh, person sent before you put
What?
message sent before this device was added to this conversation. This message cannot.
Do you need to send it again?
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm going to look up the text of what we're showing here. Okay.
Like, I would say like the back, how much I cut back.
Okay. As well, yes. Because as your foot is expanding, you for these different parts that you didn't even know was there.
Yeah. I circled the part that I cut back.
Okay, I'll have.
Or so after I did that, and lo and behold, now he has a little bit of bar.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I see where you cut it out there. Because you got new coming in, and the foot is gradually unwrapping itself. How curled in the true heels really, really, really are, and how we have had false heels for a very long time, and how these heels curl up in there. I mean, it blows me away. And shoves the whole frog and aquarium forward and everything, making smaller. It makes a smaller and smaller version of its true self. See? And so,
and a lot of horses are walking under that wall that's rolled under, and so it's not standing up because it's not horizontal anymore or vertical, and so it crushes the heels even more.
Mm-hmm. So I want you to look at this just a minute. Share. Okay, so
in this case, I draw a drop of blood. Do you remember, Linda?
Yeah.
The photo.
I have as well. Oh, did you send me a photo?
It was something like 2-3 months ago. But a very big chunk where the hole and the bar was crawling. A big triangle of
angle is filling with sole material.
The seat of the corn.
Because I was cutting it out before.
And you're probably not even because look what it can do. Okay, this is not the true seat of the corn. Heel buttress. Okay, everything here is, and the frog is totally pushed forward. And so when, because you could look at the side of the foot and the card foot from the side, and those collateral they have to have a certain shape, and when they see, they tell it all. Let me find this one picture here. Where is it? Hold on. This foot with all the views of the side of the foot, so you can tell. Out of pictures I've got that show this foot unbinding and unrolling and changing. It's the most bizarre thing to how the bulbs were totally wrapped in, the heels were trimmed out. Oh, come on.
And something else is that my lateral calf, how do you call the second phalanx, to massage every day and to take the cartilage this place, and they became every day softer and softer and softer.
Well, you just see all these different weird things going on with these.
Linda, I had to put my fingers inside, move them. I thought it was not cartilage anymore. No, with with my fingers and the massage, they became softer and softer and softer, and now they're distact from the bone. Desperate solution.
That you just like massage their feet.
Yes, because I was trying to do hard, and I put my fingers in. And I was massaging and moving this cartilage every time.
Oh, because they've been stuck in one spot for so long.
Yes. They were very hard, the bone, and they became a bit
more
flexible. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now
I try all
hey, whatever you can do. There's nothing wrong with that.
Solutions.
Makes sense to me. Why wouldn't you do that? I mean, that just like not massage those feet and kind of get that stuff working again. A nice sole. What I didn't know was that a whole false frog, this is periopal frog, that the heels are totally turned in, the bulbs are, this was just the start of getting that thing unbound. And what do you find? That this is not, when this foot starts to unwrap for a long time, but you see how curled in the heels really are? That's not the real bar. That's not the real form of the foot. And so I mean, I have gone through just a minute here, the different forms trying to figure this out, what was happening, not realizing just how much, just a minute. Wait. Okay, I've got extra large. I mean, multiple ways that these heels have been coming unwrapped in the back of the foot. Remember when you looked at that wild horse, how full the back of his foot was back here? See, especially in this picture. See here? Okay, that's more froggy. Here's your bulbs clear up in here. They're not supposed to be there. And so what you see here is different staging the back of these heels to where finally you get to this place where these heels open up and you're in a place where no sole has grown for years and cartilages. So, I mean, I have hundreds of pictures showing the different process that it went through. And then, so, okay, so this year, come on, like that. And this frog keeps moving back this way. See how that weird the apex looks there? Because the whole frog keeps moving this way as the heels are uncurling here. So then let me go to the next picture of that. A second. On that trim, started realizing the bars will hold your foot right there. So those heels can't uncurl. And so look at how you see how they're starting to reveal what they really are, you know, when it's all full of when they're more curled in and you got your false bar and your frog is clear up here. See, all this is coming out this way and unfolding out funky, weird, curled in heels like this. So I just kept going. When was this? This was, that's the wrong date because that's when my camera was funky. Just a minute here. Finally, I'm like, what do I do with this heel? Then this was before he got injured. And then after he got injured, the whole heel changed. Let me go back over to here. Just a second here. Let me, just a minute here. And I get to this. Let's see. You see how the more the frog comes back and changes, like the whole apex of the frog kept moving back. And the frog kept getting longer as well. And as it did so, and I kept trimming the bars, then you would see the heels very, very curled. Of course, that's a different foot. That's the other foot. But both feet doing the exact same thing as the frog and the bulbs unwrapped themselves. Let's see here. Just a second. I put you back here for a minute because I want to go to this place. Let's see. Hold on. I gotta close some of these windows.
Linda, I have to leave. Thank you so much. I'll watch the rest on the recording. Thank you
Okay,
so
dear.
much.
Sorry to be so long.
No, thank you so much for all your help.
You're welcome,
and
dear.
I'll get working on those hoops this week.
Okay.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so here is after his injury. Now you see how the frog and the bulbs are changing here and pulling back. Now look at how curled in that heel is. What do you do with that? You know, this was the most trimmed out heel. So what I decided to do was this. Let me get a pencil here. I decided to rasp this part over and off. Right there.
All of it?
Yeah, yeah.
because I am at the same moment.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what I found. Okay, which was pretty interesting. Just a second here. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Do this. All right, so let me find and show you where I rasped that over. Because what do you do with that? That's not supposed to be like that. Okay, and notice here. Notice how it's clear up against the frog right there. Now, before, when the frog was up here and stuff, and it had its fake bar and its fake soul, well, it's real soul. It's just that it all grew into a compact form. So, okay, so let me find a still where I can show you where I rasped that over. Let's see. Okay, I think it was here. Just a second. I don't know how good these pictures are going to be. And again, the date is not correct. Or well, this one is because this is in July. Okay, so I fixed the date. Okay, so new share. Okay, so I just came and I just rasped this in here a little to begin with because I was leery. You know, I was leery of doing that. You know, of just rasped a little right in here to kind of move that over. Let's see. Oh, that's my big fat butt. Let's see. Let me find a better picture. My camera was taking crappy pictures.
I can see it. Don't worry about the photo. I can see what you did.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to find some better ones. Okay. Okay, here's an even better one. You share. Okay, see
yes,
there?
yes, yes, yes. And you took the bar away.
Yeah, I did. See?
Okay. Yeah.
Come on. Let's see. Okay. All right. So now I'll show you how things progressed. Okay, so find some more next set of pictures. Just a second here. Okay, new share. Whole heel cracked off, and the whole bulb moved back. And so then what I'm finding is expanding again. See that crack there?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so that's the other foot. Let me find it. It was dark. Okay, it doesn't look like it there, but that is more. So let me go find that. Just a minute here. Come down here.
This heel changed.
Yes. Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. So hold on here.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me keep going.
Once we're here, I will send you a today photo.
Okay. So I rasped him over again, and it didn't kill him. Okay. So
I know what you
kill
mean.
him.
Funny thing is that the more we do, the better they walk.
Yeah.
In my case.
Well, same here. You know, decided to take some more. Okay. Because what do you do? They're curled in. They're not going to just uncurl.
How it changed.
And I know, and over here too. Okay.
Good.
We shouldn't even have to be doing this. That's the whole thing. To be right here, not over here, and here. But see how? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just took now. Look at how weird this looks. We're literally curled in, like so, and the whole frog and the bulb. Okay. So
it
I decided
better than ever.
Yeah, what's that? Why is that there?
The white spot.
I'm coughing in your ear ball. Sorry, wait a minute.
Linda, are you muted?
Oh, yep, I was. Okay, so, and he cracked the heel like that, and it allowed the whole bulb to expand. And here's as he healed up so well. You know, when horses get big gaping wounds there, they never heal up right. Anybody ever seen one really heal up right?
Yeah, they usually leave some major
Yeah.
distortion in the body.
Well, see, that's because usually they're hoof, right? So when that gets torn, it frees it and it rises up, but it's up. In this case, I had a lot of heel grown on him. So it was all propped up where it was supposed to be, is what I figured. So his foot's grown out. He's got this funky deal going here. But trimming it over, but I'm still deciding like what to do. And I have a whole new heel buttress I never cure. And that old piece is growing out. So I decided I'm going to take off some more of that curled in heel. Look what I find. I find this little thing here. You know what's that got way curled in and covered over there, and the frog and everything grew over it, and it was heel buttress. Heel buttress shouldn't be up there against the frog, you know. So that's his real heel buttress as this frog is back. See, shouldn't even have this little dip here. See, this whole thing is going to come out like this. So I have the bar is trimmed down. Now you see any blood?
No,
Do
wait,
you? No?
wait. I will
Okay.
open the. Yes, I did. Yes, I do.
Okay. Oh, chickens.
Well,
Okay, so
you say that this has.
yeah, that's the real heel buttress.
Okay, I see.
See, it was pulled in
Yeah,
like this and just had
Yeah.
sidewall and distorted funky bar merged frog grew over it to hide it all. But I mean, it was all this was
Yes,
up
yes,
here.
yes.
This was
I
all
recognize
okay.
everything.
So they got that. Now let's okay. So
Picture of today photo of Benenitra's hoof.
okay.
I sent it in Messenger.
Okay, so this is a month later.
I think.
Month later, this is the same foot.
Yeah.
After I okay, and see how it's that how it was.
Grow.
It's starting to come out over this way. Yeah.
Well, that's a new invention.
Yeah. Well, what do you do? I mean, they're curled in. What? There's no way that's gonna uncurl. You know, just leaving it like that. So I just took a chance on taking it over. It would have been clear into here. See, so this isn't the real buttress yet, but I'll show you the real buttress growing out, which is let's see, let's go back here. Let me okay. Got similar stuff going on the other foot. Okay, so now, okay, so next come to before trim is this one, which is a couple weeks later, right here. Now, there is that heel buttress right here, and the real bar that's growing. Like you can see these little tubules there. See them?
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
and the
yes,
sole
yes,
is
yes.
starting to fill in here like that. Now look at that trim and see what I did there. Okay.
We have two guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Benenitra and Valor.
Yeah.
I mean, in the horse world, horses should make a statue of these two horses.
Yeah, really.
From Benenitra and Valor.
I know it. They're very important horses, aren't they?
Yes,
For what
they
they've
are.
taught us.
Really, they are.
Okay, now can you see the buttress
Yes.
right there? And of course, it shouldn't be there. It should be over here, you know. But it was literally curled up into the foot like so. See, these buttresses should be clear over here.
Linda,
not
there's all
up
I
here.
see is a bunch of pictures on your screen. Did you
Oh,
do
sorry.
I know what you're
Yeah.
looking at.
I screwed up. Let me go back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right here. That is the true heel buttress.
And
right
Lida,
there.
I think it's the first time ever that someone sees and looks at the heel buttress.
Well, we probably have seen them, maybe, but didn't
Where?
know. You know, didn't know. We've seen a few. Like when we look at those wild horse pictures, we're looking at real heel buttress. But like this here, That's not real heel buttress right there. That is still a curled in, funky heel. Well, there might be some buttress there, but on this side, that whole thing was curled in and covered over and not grown. And look how it curled into the frog there. But then the frog grows over it, and you got a false heel, and you don't even know it's in there. Like
Is this piece a hard one or a soft one?
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. And so what I'm seeing here is real heel buttress and the real bar connection here. And so and here, look, see it right there? It's got a ledge right here where it was growing out. Remember, I where it was right there. So what I'm thinking is I'll be able to work with it to get it to widen out, because this heel needs to come out over here. Because ultimately, this is just another form of contracted heel that doesn't look like contracted heel. See? Because anytime you lower, these are all blurry. Oh, well, there you can really see it right here, how it curled in. See, because when you lower the heels and the foot tries to stand back up, it pulls this wall in behind and underneath it. And it'll just keep pulling it around, and everything just keeps curling in and shoving forward and shoving forward.
Is it?
That's what it looks like kind of now.
Yes.
But see how well it healed up? And see how that grew down?
But in the final product, the heel buttress does show different.
Yeah. You know, I'm experimenting around here. Let's see. Wait a minute. No share.
Because I cannot. I'm not sure I can perfectly understand it and see it.
Well,
anybody else?
The whole foot, back of the foot, wraps itself up like a spool. You know how I've showed you how this foot spools? Like
yes. This I understand, but the heel buttress itself, I cannot detect it.
Do you have that picture?
Well,
you remember you shared a picture where you basically cut. It was a cadaver foot that you cut like half the bottom of the foot off, and you could see the hoof wall and the heel had wrapped around.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
so that might help her.
Okay, let me get that. Just a second here.
Well, the fact that the heels get spooled in, I get it. Only the heel buttress I cannot understand fully.
Okay, well, I'll show you here. This picture helps. It helped me. The one that she was mentioning here. Just a minute here. Let's see.
And you see how much volume the hoofs gain.
They get his foot's longer and bigger. It looks kind of weird from the side right now because everything's switching and adjusting, and I haven't been taking the toe back like I usually do, or not keeping the toe back like I usually do. His foot kind of shifted, and I just kind of let it hang out there for a bit. You know, you think of different things, trying to work with leverages on how these horses self-trim as well, experimenting with some of that. They don't always just break their toes off. It's the last go when that foot has kind of gotten long and run under in the back, and that kind of helps them pull the.
My two mares in my land, they broke their heel quarters and their toe quarters when they self-trim.
Yeah, there's like a definite pattern, you know.
Yes. First the heel quarter, and then the toe quarter. I never saw something on the toe, ever.
That have really good height and heel and stuff like that. They will chip the toe wall in a really interesting way. Okay, look at this.
Yes, but very cheap, on not the break.
Okay, look at this. I wish I had a marked on it because I marked it wrong. All right. So let me mark it right. Okay. So okay, so this here is the heel buttress. Okay, I can't really see it on this other side, but this here is the heel buttress. And the bulb, let's see, we'll make it yellow, but the bulb is right here.
Yeah.
See there?
Yes.
Okay. So you know how I showed that when I could be right here if it was even growing. Okay. So I rasped that over and it exposed that part right there that was right up against the frog. You know, so, but you know, some of this stops growing.
Here
And
I can see it, but on the capsule, I'm not sure.
I know hey, it's a brain twister, this thing. You know, it's it's a it's it's a rocket surgery.
Yeah, but I have this photo of this hoof when after the injury, and it is somehow a yellow part that you said this is the heel buttress.
Oh,
After the injury, when the injury healed,
okay.
and he had the new heel,
Uh-huh.
you said you put a photo which I kept, and you said this is the heel buttress.
Oh, well, you know, it may have been 'cause what I'm seeing now, I marked it wrong. You know, so I'm not sure what you're talking about, but it may have been, and I may have not been, because now I'm finding that they're wrapped up even more than what I thought. Because if you look here, okay, so here's coronary band, right? And that
Yeah.
nubbin is supposed to be out like that. Okay, this nubbin here. But look
Yes.
where it's at. It's wrapped around behind the foot.
Oh, yes.
See? And so what happens is, so people think that trying to get another deal here. People think
Linda,
that this is their
Linda,
heel
people
buttress.
don't think because they don't know anything about these things.
Yeah, we think wrong is what happens. So they think that this sidewall is heel buttress. They don't know that the heel buttress has been trimmed out, and as see, because this cartilage is supposed to be up here, okay? Let's just make a funky foot here. Cartilage wants to be here, period.
Yeah.
Foot want to stand here, period. You come in, lower the heel, it pulls it down. Well, it's forcing it down, but everything in the horse wants it to be right here. And so when it pulls back up, then it takes this wall here and it wraps it around the back of the foot so that then this becomes the back of the foot. See?
Yes.
Like that. And then you come lower the heel again and pull it down, and it pulls itself back up, and then your heel's here. Because it literally takes this piece of hoof wall and wraps it around behind it. And gradually you're trimming all this out. And when it gets trimmed out clear to here and wrapped up in the foot, it's not growing anymore, or else it turns into partial bar because it's displacing the bar as well, you know. Clear all the drawings. If go back, I mean, I haven't even looked at what's going on with the bar here. Like, what happened to the bar? Well, look how the look how the bars curve in. That's a sign. You'll see curved in bars like that. Okay?
Yes.
It's you know, pulls this around here.
Back up.
I know there was a time when I didn't even have
I
something
warned
like
you.
right there.
I said to back up.
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, what?
I didn't realize I was not on mute.
She's
I'm talking to a
her
horse again.
She talks her. I said to back up.
I've been to 3 barns since we've been on the phone.
Oh, that was really funny. Hey, I said to back up.
No, well, the horse is hanging his head over the stall door while I'm trying to open it. And I said, back up. And he just stood there. So I said, I warned you.
I know, they're like kids, aren't they?
I know.
That's
but
funny.
he didn't care. He was insulted, but he didn't back up. I know. He's like, what's in your pocket?
My dog is going crazy. Okay, so all right, so you're like, I can't even see where the heel buttress is here. I think it's right here. Yeah, worse than on
so.
Yeah, the bulb here, you know, at literally. So there, you have these, you know, or some.
Every
You know, this kind of, even though I healed her word G. And see, I showed you that it was okay. Well, let's see, it takes a lot wrapping your head on. Like in playing with this foot, I wrap piece are also stripping the fog out of the foot. And that gives, and so this can, it not wants to curl that direction. You see the way it's shaped, how curved? So let's see. So yeah,
it's too deep and very hard.
Yeah,
it's rolling in.
So good news. This looks like now. Here's the buttress now.
Can you show me again, buttress? No, here in this one.
From her.
Try.
Yeah, this is right here. So it did out fairly well. Let's see.
Linda, I don't see it. No.
Oh,
This is the heel.
just a minute. Let me draw on it here.
Yes, if you
I'll
please.
use red. Okay, the buttress is rare. That's grown. Remember how I trimmed there was a bar?
Yes.
Okay, here's the bar.
Yes, the white line of the bar,
right here.
Yeah,
It would
yeah.
this.
Yes. That is not different capsule or angle of the capsule. Is a buttress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. To where be like the bar.
Yeah, even wrong. Yeah,
so not in the right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. It's supposed to be over. So and let's see. Just and then I took off with and see that you find that you can take a frog back and there's and so now this frog, these frog all has to come back and the bulb's frog will move back
to embrace
the heel out behind the heel. True frog. And so when the heels are trimmed out, just in and create slowly all kinds of fit. So this kind of where I'm at here with this foot that got in inside heels, the worst heel. Because see, you're unwrapping this. You're literally unwrapping these bulbs. These bulbs were so thing, you know. Oh, okay. Okay.
Well,
you know, as we do this, we, you know, this here and this folding. See how your heels. Let's see. Maybe I retained a picture comparison. See there? Wrapped in where how frog grew and heel. No, that was okay.
Yes.
So that and this